And we're live. This is Julien Jean-Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company, and you are tuning into another episode of Seamoss Talk, or Let's Talk About Seamoss. And I'll wait a little bit for some people to come in, and before we start talking, like always, I'm not sure what to talk about tonight, so I'm open for questions. I probably will touch a little bit about wildcrafted sea moss because lately that's something that I've been doing a lot of research on, mainly because lots of people have been discussing it, and they have this idea that it's better, and my experience is quite the contrary. So I want to kind of expose some of the reasons why I see sea moss farmed is the better alternative. So let me know, guys, before I start ranting, um, if you guys have any questions. Darlene, do you have any questions tonight about sea moss? No, you just want to listen. Okay. Welcome, Alicia. Taj. Taj, you should join me on this live. I'm gonna send you an invite if you're still there. No, he's gone. Because there's a guy earlier, Taj Ernest. He's a sea moss farmer in St. Lucia, and it'd be interesting to get his perspective. I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure he sea moss farms. Maybe he also has divers and stuff, but he sells and exports sea moss and good quality stuff too. And it'd be great to get his opinion or perspective of the industry. Um, those that have been doing this for a while and have I guess sold a certain quantity of sea moss, they usually know really kind of like what's the I guess the truth about sea moss, and that is that the wildcrafted and the farm sea moss is pretty much the exact same. And did I hold on? Hang on. Something just happened with the. Oh, you know what? No, I did something. I think I. How do I get back to my? Let's talk about Seamoss. Okay, there I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm new to this clubhouse, and I pressed the button and I kind of screwed it up, and that's typical. Someone's joining in on Instagram. I love this. I love when people come in and we talk live because me talking about CMOS by myself, it gets kind of boring. Hey, what's up?
Oh shit! I didn't even know I pressed on live. My bad, bro.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want me to let you go then?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here, let me see how I can remove you, or you can end it if you want. I'm not sure how I do it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's happened before. Sometimes you press the buttons and you get connected without realizing it. So, yeah, the main topic tonight, I think, is going to be about wildcrafted and farmed. And one of the things I want to talk about, not so much about wildcrafted, but really to explain farm, because a lot of people, they hear farm sea moss and they instantly get this kind of idea that it's similar to farming sea moss like you do in like a traditional farm. You know what I mean? Which is really not the case. Like I always see in the comments when I'm looking online, social media, everybody's like, "Oh, farmed, oh, man's intervention." There's like literally no intervention by man when it comes to the Seamoss farming, at least in St. Lucia, and it's like as simple as you can make it. There's no machines, there's no additives, there's no chemicals. They do nothing to the sea moss. All they do is take the sea moss from the wild, they break pieces off, and they attach it to a rope. The sea moss doesn't absorb nutrients from the rope, it doesn't absorb nutrients from a rock. The being on the rope simulates the hold fast that it would have to anchor it to anything, rock, coral, seashells. You know what I mean? Like this is the thing. Like if what people are saying is true about wildcraft and sea moss, then are you telling me that the seashell contains every single mineral? And that's what the rock, the sea moss is feeding off? Because that's what they'll show you. Oh, there's a seashell. You know what I mean? That's what it's attached to. And it's like, yeah, it attaches to anything hard that it can sort of get a grasp and create that hold fast. It's going to do that. And so with farm, there's nothing different than simulating that hold fast. You know what I mean? In fact, the Seamoss farms are generally in areas where it's rocky already and there's rocks over them. You know, and it, the only time man touches it is to clean it, to make sure that there's no algae and crap growing on it, which you want, you know. And when you think about farmed wildcrafted, a lot of times, you know, I don't know, I don't want to shit on too much, but the truth is, from my experience, a lot of times you don't know where that wildcrafted sea moss is getting coming from. You know, no one's really testing the waters, and no one's really making sure that that area is set up properly, and there's not like any heavy metals or any like toxic algae. You know what I mean? Like there's in the ocean, there's these things called toxic algae blooms. You can Google it, and these things go everywhere, and they kill things. And like you want to make sure that your stuff's in an area where, you know, it's going to be sort of like monitored and protected. And now I know when it comes to the sea moss in the farms, these areas are all in like protective areas. They're like, you know, if I had a way to show you guys on a map on Instagram, I know I can do it on the Facebook or on YouTube, but like these areas are like it. There's no one, like there's no houses, there's no sewage, there's nothing. It's on like the south side of this road, and there's little houses there, you know. Oh, so Hardy says, please message me. I'm about to hop on a call. Nice. Well, hopefully you can come back and watch more of this, and let me know if you guys have any questions. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, like these areas are clean, they're protected, and like I said, like there's nothing different. Like I've tried the wildcrafted, I've tried the farm. There is no difference. If there was a difference, I honestly would just kind of like I wouldn't be discussing this now. You know what I mean? I would just keep my mouth shut and say that's it. I don't understand why people have to like hold on to the fact that it like that this can't be grown this way and still be okay. It's just, and I guess like I said, I understand in some ways because they haven't seen how this product is produced, you know? And when you see how it's produced, right, you then understand like the quality and the care. And here's the thing, I'll say this. Like at the end of the day, you shouldn't be concerned about whether the sea moss is wildcrafted or not. What you should be more concerned about is where it was harvested, whether, especially if it's wildcrafted, to know exactly where it came from, and then to the person handling it. there's a lot of people that they're not that experienced and well versed in Seamoss. Like Seamoss is really exploded, and the difference between someone who really knows how to clean and care for the Seamoss when it comes to the drying process, that really says a lot to the quality. Like I handle a lot of Seamoss, and I can tell when someone has dried it properly and taken some time with it, as opposed to someone who has kind of rushed the process and kind of just slapped it together to kind of get to move it. And usually it happens when they're I guess how do you say it? They're larger operations because they aren't. You know what I mean? They need. See, I don't want to be criticizing this stuff because I'm not there. I don't know for sure. But my thoughts or suspicions is that when you're looking at some of this low quality weed, CMOS, it's because these guys are not taking care of it. You know, and that goes for any country. You know what I mean? If you are a smaller operation and you have the love and care, then you know it's gonna be high quality. So my Artha Aura says people selling left and right fake Seamoss is way cheaply, mostly made in Asia. So here's one of the things I want to discuss. And hang on with them. I just want to take a quick break. There's no such thing as fake Seamoss. Okay, at least in my opinion, and by definition, in order for something to be fake, you would have to use a different product. For example, you know what I mean, something that looked like fake wood. It's not wood, it's plastic. Okay, with fake CMOS, it's CMOS. It's just low quality CMOS. Like I was just discussing earlier, when you're dealing with a large quantity of CMOS, you can't give it the same love and attention as you were, you know what I mean? Like someone who's say moving 10,000 pounds a month, unless they hire the I guess the adequate amount of people, they're not going to get the same quality as someone that's making 1,000 pounds a month. Or you know what I'm saying? Because these people have more time to clean it, more time to care for it, more time to watch it dry properly. That all goes into the overall product. Like regardless if it's wild crafted or not. And so, in my opinion, you could have wild crafted sea moss, and if the person doesn't dry it properly or clean it properly, is it good quality sea moss? No. Like it's, you know what I mean? In some ways, the farm sea moss might be better for you because it's cleaner and healthier, and it's got less contaminants because it's remember the wild is the wild. Like it's got everything in it, and even the stuff that you might not want in it. So this is the reason why, for me personally, I stick to mostly. I sell the wild crafted. I'm not going to say I don't. Right? That's what people want. The market wants what they want. But I also sell the farmed, and I personally take the farmed. Hey, what's up, Rio? And I don't like because I don't see anything different. So he says you can't replicate nature's flow of water, minerals in the rocks, sunlight. See, that's what people don't understand when it comes to farming. It is in the nature. It is being replicated. And also you can't get minerals from the rock. Okay? I've researched it. I've looked it up and down. Trust me, I've spent months like looking at any kind of site. I've studied the algae. You got to understand, sea moss is an algae. So all you need to do is kind of like understand algae and how algae grow. And so algae come from the dissolved nutrients in the water that it's submerged in. And it feeds mostly off nitrates, and it uses photosynthesis, the sunlight, to convert its stuff into food. And it feeds itself from all points in the plant. And so you can take the sea moss and break a piece of it, and it will continue to grow and flourish from where it is. And it doesn't need roots to grow. It can, you know what I mean? Sea moss floats around everywhere. This stuff doesn't even just grow on rocks. It grows in depressions of sand in the wild. Like there'll be these things called holes like buckets, and so the sea moss will grow like huge, like bushes, like forests. And so you when you see these guys diving in the video, they're diving down to that area where the sea moss is sort of collected and grown, and that's where they're pulling it up. It's not all coming from the rocks. You know what I mean? And it is being in the same environment as the rocks, as the wild sea moss. So it's getting all the same tidal flows. In fact, what I mean, they make sure that the water has a certain level of salt and nutrients in it before they grow the sea moss in that area. So there's certain areas that are just not suitable for growing sea moss, and so they don't place their farms there. You know what I mean? This is not an area like a situation where you got tractors going through it and guys adding fertilizer, and you know what I mean. They're adjusting the clocks and the timing of the sunlight. And none of that happens. Everything comes to nature, and in fact, they're at the total whim of nature. And for example, these guys will spend hours and days planting these farms, and you know they could have one bad storm and all the stuff washes out away and just kind of like floats around in the ocean. And a lot of times there's divers that go and pick up that sea moss, and that's what they're selling. So even when you think you're getting wildcrafted because the guy says he has a diver, a lot of times the truth is that that sea moss is stuff that they found floating in the water. And you take it and you think it's wildcrafted sea moss, and you love it. Why? Because it's good sea moss. Doesn't matter where it comes from. What matters, or sorry, it does matter where it comes from. Doesn't matter if it comes from a rock or a rope. What matters is where it comes from in the location. All right, because you can find wildcrafted sea moss or any sea moss in areas where they have high levels of lead, high levels of excuse me, pollution. Arsenic. There's lead. What else is there? Metals. I forget. Those are the big things: arsenic and lead that they're looking for to make sure that you want to avoid. And just the sea in general, like in a lot of areas, it's going to have a lot of muck and like just what I would call like sea debris, which just collects and it's just disgusting. It's got plastics and bits of wood and twine and all kinds of stuff. I remember once my uncle, this is when I first kind of got into the sea moss business, and I asked him to get me a guy to get wildcrafted sea moss, and so they got this stuff, and I was kind of like, what? Like the stuff was so dirty that there was no way that I could ever like I threw it away. I was just like, there's no way. I tried drying it. I tried kind of working with it, but I was kind of like, there's no way I'm taking this. And so how could I go and get this guy trying to get me more sea moss when it's, you know what I mean? It's not even like I wouldn't even think of consuming it. I don't know. Hey, Rio, what's up? How's it going?
I see you looking clean.
Yeah, I got the shave. It was my mom's birthday over the weekend, and I had and I had a funeral. My grandmother passed away about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I was there, and I had to kind of shave up, and you know what I mean. But normally, I'm like, I'm only like that because dude, I don't go anywhere. I'm just like from here to the warehouse back here. That's what I do. Yeah, so I don't really go anywhere unless I have like I do real estate, and so I go out once in a while, but a lot of times it's all online and stuff. So, this guy says, "What's your opinion on harvesting directly from Maine? Since we're all in the U.S., this is where Clonderous Christmas lives." Well, there's a lot of people that get their sea moss from Maine, and they're very happy with it. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's not it's kind of like where exactly is the Seamoss coming from? That's most important. And so I would encourage everybody to, it's not only enough to get phytosanitary certificates, which proves the origin of where it's come. But if you're actually dealing with someone that's direct, they should be able to show you farms or know the location of where they're obtaining the sea moss from. You know what I mean? And so, like for us, we know right down to the farmer and the date on which we purchased that sea moss from that person. Like we keep those kind of records, and we make sure that when the orders go out, we record the boxes that the CMOS is coming out of that, in case we have to, there's any sort of problems. Although, fingers crossed, knock on wood, no one has a problem yet. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with CMOS from Maine. To answer the question, I think as long as it's not from a largely populated area in Maine, it should be fine. Because the CMOS acts like a filter, and so what it's nearby, and even when it's dried, like my partner was telling me, like if you're wearing like cologne or perfume, or if you have a lot of scent, the CMOS will pick up that smell from the air. And I know it's really susceptible, especially in its dry state, to moisture. So that if it gets like wet or there's rain for a long time, then the sea moss will absorb that moisture from the air like a wick. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, should I take a break quickly? I think I'm gonna just run and get a glass of water because I finished my water just now and I'm like parched. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back.
Question, you think, you know how they have the things in the RVs that you put in the RVs when you have your RV sitting? They just suck the water out the moisture out the air.
Sorry, say that again.
You know, like if you have your RV or just basically suck moisture out the air, they have I forgot what they're called, but volume you sit them inside like space that has a lot of moisture, and then it absorbs it.
I've seen something like that where they have fans and stuff like that.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly.
And they use that to kind of circulate the air and let places the dry to absorb the moisture. And I know from dealing with weed, they make like hydro packs that will help regulate a certain temperature, or not temperature but moisture level, so that if it gets too high or too low, it will regulate it. So yeah.
Do you think dry sea moss in the powder form and would help with the collecting moisture because it does absorb moisture really fast and good?
Yeah, I think just like any sort of like dough or whatever, if that area is high in moisture, the powder is going to clump up. It's a powder. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't get any water near it. Pardon?
Mix that, probably mix with some baking soda, right?
What, the CMOS powder?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if I made the CMOS powder. It would be pure CMOS powder.
No, I'm trying to say if you mix it with baking soda, the absorption,
Oh,
the
that,
power of the absorption,
that's
and
possible.
I don't know. I was thinking.
But do you want to consume the baking soda?
Oh no, nah. I ain't trying to do all of that. I'm just thinking about like, yeah.
I think if I were to put something in it to keep it dry, I would put rice. That way, I could take the rice out. The rice would absorb the moisture. So, organically, Kismic asked the question: is there a way to test the moss for heavy metals? And so, yes, there is a way. And in fact, I recently just got shared some information with a fellow former exporter, and he found a company on the island that tests for the metals. And it also tests for, I'm going to confirm this, but I believe he was saying they test for various nutrients. You just got to let them know what you want to test for, and they'll test it. And so I'm going to see the cost. And as long as the cost is reasonable, I'm going to invest in testing various types of CMOS for not only the nutrient levels, but like heavy metals and stuff like that, and in different areas of St. Lucia. That way, we have an understanding of like where is best to get the product and what's the quality and stuff like that. But like I said, a lot of it really comes down to the person you're dealing with who's handling the product from out of the water to the drying stage. Because even like uh, you taking it out of the water, if you don't clean it and dry it right away, the plant or the algae gets what we call stressed. And so it just then becomes not as of an attractive product. Or if they dry it too long, or if they, don't use clean water when they wash it. Like all these little like factors can follow, affect the quality of the product. And so it's more than just whether or not it comes from the rocks or not. You can have Seamoss that comes from the rock that was handled poorly, and it's going to be of horrible quality. Worse than some of the farm that people are, what I mean, that would handle with care. You know, so yeah. So yeah, we're gonna check that company, and I don't know, check back in like I think a month. I should have some, things don't move really fast down in St. Lucia. So hopefully, um, within the month or so, we'll have a better idea on the costs of getting these tests done.
All right, so just I think when it comes to this wildcraft and stuff like that, people have a problem with human intervention, and is I me viewing him, I don't have a problem with human intervention once it's done in a purest form, because everybody eating something is, besides if you're growing it yourself 100%, it's going to be probably, it's going to be handled by another person.
Okay.
So checking into the quality, and that's why I mess with you, because you care about the quality and handling it and how it's dried, the process of it. So when it comes down to it, breaking it down to anybody and everybody, try to come at your throat.
Yeah. Well, I get it, and I understand why people think that they're human, and this is why I want to have this open discussion, because I feel like people don't understand what like. Okay, let me ask you this question: what is CMOS farming? What do they do in CMOS farming?
What they say one more time.
Like, explain to me CMOS farming to me, because you say it's man and like, how does man intervene in CMOS farming?
Okay, so from my knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
okay, from my knowledge, it is getting the Seamoss from from either from a cutting or clipping,
Mm-hmm.
And hanging it and planting it on a term.
Yeah, same thing.
On
Yeah, anchoring it, planting it, same thing. Yeah, we're
on
attaching
a,
it.
right on a line under the water or in the water,
Hmm.
and letting it grow to a mature state, and then harvesting it and letting it dry to a certain percentage.
Okay, and so how would it be that different than them capturing it from the wild?
Okay, so just comparing it to anything that is wild, it wouldn't be. So, for example, if I was to go get a wild mango, or if I was to go, I don't want to use animal, but if I was to go hunting, the difference of having, I don't, but the difference about hunting getting a wild pig versus getting a pig would be, since it wasn't farmed, it wasn't raised, it was
Hmm.
just it wasn't touched by man. So in a state, it will be it will be in that sense pure in that case. But that it's mostly everything that if you buy from the market, it has human intervention in a way. But
Hmm.
if they say if a person says no, I have a spot where I don't, all I do is I come and I harvest around it. Basically, you it won't be an abundance one if you're doing it like that, and you will have a lower quantity. But you can, like, if I was to get a mango from, if I get a wild crafted freaking mango, if I get that seed from after I'm done eating that mango and I put it in the ground and I plant it, if I just get a seed and I
Hmm.
plant it myself in the ground, it's not wild crafted anymore. And if I let it just grow by itself, I intervened, I planted it. So by definition, if you want to be a curse, it would not be wildcrafted, even if I don't touch that tree after I plant it in the ground. That is, but it's so it's very fickle, and it's but that when
So
it
I,
comes to someone trying to go ahead,
I
yeah,
was sorry, I'm just like I didn't mean to cut you off, but I guess so. It's really a matter of principle, not an actual
yes,
matter of difference.
it is a matter of principle and morals and how you see it. But when it comes to quality, the wildcrafted, come on, man, like if you trim the tree and you cut it and you take away the bad clippings and you actually care for the tree, come on, it's gonna be raised better, especially if you love it. If
Yeah.
you put love into something, you can make it even better because that's human and
Uh,
nature working together. People, but we're not getting that. We just thinking, oh, it has to be 100% natural to be good. No, like us as human, that's our best thing that we can
mhm.
do.
Listen,
But you know,
yeah, listen. I'm for that. Anybody that like says, okay, I want wildcrafted because of that reason, yeah, like I understand that. But to say that the sea moss is just because it's wild means that it's better, that I'm kind of like, okay, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because there's lots of situations where when you grow something under the ultimate, like the best environment with the best nutrients, the product is amazing and it's highly like potent of whatever you need it for. You know what I mean? But in the case of sea moss and then the farming of sea moss, it, the only thing it does is man touches it from that time to place it. Like, how would I say it? Even if they put it on a rock, it wouldn't change the quality of it. You know what I mean? Like the rope does not make any sort of difference. It doesn't change the chemistry of the sea moss. It doesn't change the you know what I mean? The nutrient, like the amount of nutrient absorbs and stuff like that. So like to me, it's like the only reason that you would see a difference is of that reason that you explained there. That it's like, well, someone touched it. You know what I mean? And that's like being like a germaphobe or something to me. You know, like I don't know, but we'll see. You know, if the like I kind of like joked on Facebook earlier in the comments. I told someone that if uh, if the price is reasonable, I'm going to get a bunch of tests done, and I'm going to rub it in all the haters' faces when I show that the wild crafted it's the same. It's not to say it's better. It's the same. There's no difference. And
Hey man,
yeah,
I just want to say though, like I listen, I'm for you, but you feel me? Just take it, because supposed to.
no,
I'm
that's
not
okay.
saying.
That listen, I understand. I get it. That shit's all in your head. You know what I mean? That's the reality. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, and I don't mean to sound arrogant or obnoxious or whatever, you can't argue a test. If I take the test and I show that they're both the same nutrient level, how can you say that the wildcraft is better? They're the same. That's the whole point of taking a test. The only difference would be your opinion, what you have in your head.
That's what the test is for. To take blur to finally just knock that junk out the park. I'm with it, man.
But I've watched a video where there's a man that I sort of like highly respect. I think he's a very he writes amazing articles that are very informative and unbiased. And he's the only guy I know in Seamoss that's like traveled the world and publishes reports on like the different harvesting techniques and the quality of the Seamoss and stuff like that. It's this guy Matthew from a company called Detox and Cure. And so he did a video I found on Pinterest where he was talking about farmed and stuff. And he said that from the tests that they've done, the CMOS is the same. In fact, what's most concerning is that the wild crafted CMOS has generally higher levels of heavy metals and toxins. And that's because it's found in the wild where, you know what I mean, the environment is uncontrolled, you know?
That makes a lot of sense, because if you think about it, something's sitting in there and it's actually absorbing everything. It's through and through. And that's and how you said it's a filter, right? So if it is, and you don't, if you don't get it from a certain environment, you're gonna get the good and the bad, not just the good, everything.
Yeah. And that's not to say that all wildcrafted CMOS is bad, but I know when it comes to the farm CMOS, the areas where they farm, they select those areas. Do you know what I mean? Like those areas are known to be high in nutrients. To the CMOS will grow, and there's no sort of, you know, human pollution. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you got to remember when these guys don't have sewage systems, you know, and for the most part, their stuff runs out in the ocean and they dump it. I don't know how it is in St. Lucia. I'd have to check to be sure, but I know even in Toronto, our sewage system, we dump our shit out in the lake. Do you know what I mean? Like all the sewage from the city goes right out into the lake. They try and clean and process it before they release it. But like sometimes when there's heavy rainstorms and stuff, because the city's old and stuff, the way the sewage system is, they just dump it. You know what I mean? And let the ocean sort of dilute it. And so, yeah.
When I was a kid, that's when I was on a boat. The first time I seen something like that, I was fishing on a boat. I forgot where I was going. I was going like to Abaco or something like that. And friggin' A, man, I remember fishing and I caught a fish. And my mom, and I bought the fish. And I was so proud. And I bought the fish to my mom, and I wanted the chef to cook it. And she said, "Do you remember seeing like some stuff in the water and the fish coming up and eating it?" I was like, "Yeah, that's when I caught it." She said, Do you know what that was?" I was like, "Nah." She was like, That was the poop and everything was dumping in there." She said,
Yeah. But it's true. You know what I mean? It's true. They eat that shit, man. Fuck. Catfish and all that shit. You know what I mean? But that and that's why you got to know where the source is coming from. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And as these guys dive more and more, they have to find new, like, as the demand increases for this product and you want the true stuff, the areas become depleted, and then they got to find new areas. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Me personally, like, yeah, okay, I get the fascination and the idea, but if someone gave me a choice, like, are you gonna smoke wildcrafted or thing and farmed? I'd pick the farm.
Yeah, no, shoot. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't lie. I mean, I don't know in that realm. I would love to try nature's own. You feel me? I love it, but I love to try the farm. So I mean, that's just me.
I've tried both. There's no difference. So why take the risk with the wildcrafted? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Heavy.
And I think that's what I'm starting to see now, is that soon as the market matures, you're going to start seeing a lot of companies coming out with the tests and showing the heavy metals and stuff like that. I've talked to a lot of big companies and they've done the tests. And the one thing that's the big bombshell is this 92 minerals theory. Like, I've been kind of keeping my mouth shut and not really rocking the boat on it, because that seems to be a really touchy subject with a lot of people. But I can say this from personal experience, talking to the people on the phone, right? These guys have done the test. They know exactly what minerals are in there. They know it's not 92 minerals, and they know most of the stuff out there is not really well crafted. And so they're ready to start really sort of controlling the market, basically shutting a lot of people down. And so if you start coming out that your Seamoss has 92 minerals and it's well crafted, they'll be like saying, like, prove it. You know what I mean? Especially if you get big enough and you start encroaching on their territory, they're going to, um, like, push you out of the market for that. And this is the thing, when the real knowledge comes out and you're not on the train with the accurate information, you're going to get left behind. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be sort of like in the dark ages, I guess to say. It's like how radio happened with TV and shit, because, or like Blockbuster. You remember
Come on, bro. Like, yes.
Blockbuster could have been Netflix. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they were like, oh no, everybody wants DVDs. And then one day, no one wanted DVDs. When was the last time you watched a DVD?
Listen, you have to understand I remember when that transition happened, and with the streaming and all that, and it wasn't it was like watching the CD kind of disappear, kind of deal. Because when you get an iPod, and I love this nostalgia of CDs, but I don't talk to CDs no more. I don't do that thing. But yeah, that's how it was. Like, if I got a DVD, it was weird. It wasn't weird, but it was like, watch. I could just get it right now. Why you want to watch the DVD? It was just like, just to do it.
Yeah. It's crazy to think now. I have not watched regular cable TV in like 6 years or so. Like, I don't even have cable. I have like a high internet package, and that's it.
Exactly. Listen, that same. It's almost like if you have cable, and I know people who pay close to like 100 and something for cable, right? I'm like, yo, like, do you know what you can get for that? You could get Netflix, Hulu, forget everything for like $50. You could get all of that, but they paying 100 something just to grab into that. I don't even know what it is. It's not even nostalgia. I don't know what it is.
But at the same time, should you really be consuming most of that TV? Because the reality is,
you get commercials too.
That TV is it's like that's brainwashing.
Listen, it's the commercial. Listen, you're paying for TV. You're getting commercials. You can't control. You could maybe pass for the commercials now.
But the whole thing's controlling you. It's not entertainment. It's disguised as entertainment, but the reality is, like, for the most part, like, any sort of programming that you're watching, you're being programmed. That's why everybody gets this idea of like, oh, we can't do this because of so and so. It's because you watch something on TV and they showed a story where that happened. You know what I
You
mean?
assume that you don't realize it. I'm trying to listen.
Oh.
I remember. I seen it. I seen it happen because I chose not to have cable for a certain amount of time, but on purposely I didn't watch like a lot of TV
Yeah.
for a amount of time. And then when I got around it, the people watching it, I seen it happen. I promise to you, I could control what you do.
Yeah.
Control how you even moves and stuff like that. I seen
Mhm.
that. I promise. And when I figured that out, that's why I was like, I'm selective with what my daughter watches, but I let her choose and pick what she watch. But as soon as I try to tell her like, you know, I have input now, but I let her in. It's not choose it, but I let her know like what you watching. I make sure she knows that she knows that if it's entertainment or if it's educational wise and stuff like that, she knows the difference and like reality between actuality and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing that's not programming is anything that's sort of education, like where they're teaching you how to do something or explaining something, or that's generally all I watch. So most of my stuff I watch is YouTube. Like I watch YouTube, I watch the news in St. Lucia, and um, that's pretty much it. Once in a while, I'll watch like a movie with my wife or like some kind of show that she's in. I used to watch like some series before, but what I found, and this is the main reason why I got rid of cable, is that there would be times where you're just sitting there looking for something to watch. And so there's so many other things I could be doing with my time that I enjoy doing that I'm just kind of like, why am I, you know what I mean? Um, like putting myself out there to do this. This is not what I really want. Like I think a lot of people don't know what they really want in life, and they're not trying to get it. And it's almost like the more you work on what you want in life, the more happier you are. The more happy you are, the better the decisions you make in life, the better your life becomes. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like it's almost like you got to look at your life and stop doing anything that you're not happy doing, unless it's getting you somewhere to be more happy. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to sacrifice and go through a little bit of shit to get to what makes you happy, but ultimately you should be trying to pursue what makes you happy and not
Filter
what.
filtering like okay when you just when you say programming you had to even like when we were raised we had some we didn't have a choice in certain things. It's
Mm.
almost like you had to do or we're gonna get whooped or
Yeah.
right. So it's almost like we have to unprogram ourselves from that without a whole bunch of crap. But at the same time, we can figure out the stuff that we truly like me personally, when it comes to stuff that I do watch, I end up watching like a lot of weird stuff. And when it's not documentaries and stuff like that, 'cause I
Mm.
love documentaries. But like for example, it'd be like Black Mirror. Like Black Mirror is like one of them shows like
Mm-hmm.
out there and stuff like that. But you don't, I can't predict what's gonna happen. So that's what's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard stuff like that. Like reality.
No, listen, I don't mean to like demonize all TV
Okay.
shows, and this is something that I wanted to say, but I didn't get a chance to say. I believe that the best way to eliminate the potential of this programming is just to acknowledge that it is programming. I think once you see it, it neutralizes it. It's like okay, because your brain will stop it and block it because it knows that this isn't real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what
Oh
happened?
yeah, for sure.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
That's like
But what I see happening, because I'm a guy who studies people. I'm always watching people, seeing human behavior. And what I noticed is I watch people that watch extensive TV. They're they begin to believe that what they seen on TV was real, and it's never real. These stories that happen on the TV, they never happen in real life. These things are 1,000% fiction. Like normal situations, you would have talked it over, you would have figured something out, you would have solved the problem. Do you know what I mean? It's because these shows happen and they create these environments that it paralyzes people in thinking that that's how things should happen because they've seen it on TV. It fucks with their, what I call their paradigm. You know what I mean? Their subconscious, because their subconscious is taking in this information from all this repeated shows. I noticed it once with my sister. I love my sister, right? I hope she doesn't watch this. I say, yeah, I love my sister. But real talk, she watches like a Disney Channel, and she acts like a child sometimes. Where I'm just like, where the hell is this coming from? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it's a fucking TV show she watches. She cries with this, cries with that. You know, and this is my older sister. So that's one of the times when I noticed in her, I was like, yeah, you know what? I got to be really mindful of what I pass through my eyes. You know what I mean? Because my brain is always, it can't differentiate. Unless I acknowledge that this is programming, it can't differentiate after a while if that's programming or not.
It's, I like, okay, so I'm that guy, like, friggin' for the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
After if they want something like Disney Channel, right? I'm that one that watch a movie all together and be like, okay, now what was the lesson? What y'all got from this, right? And they like, I'm like, come on, y'all didn't pick up nothing. And then I would be like, so you didn't see this, and it, because I would see like exactly what did this do for them?
Yeah.
All the shits like they watched it, and it was like all fairy tales, and they didn't believe it. Like, so I would pick at their mind, trying to see what they got from it and all that. And then sometimes it's like, oh, does always have to be like, I'm like, yeah, you just watched this, you got something from it, and
yeah.
But when it comes to the shows and stuff like that, I can't rely. I'm telling you, like, especially with cable, it it's a message and everything. But when it comes to the cable right now, it's the commercials and stuff like that. Those advertisements, those are the things. Even with the jingles and all that. That's why they don't want to get rid of it. Even like, I mean, now, but with the paper to get off, and it's really good advertisement. I mean, like, you get advertisements, so you understand the hooks and even the wording that you use, how you grab the consumers and find your market. So, yeah, that's what I can't stand that. But how you say it, once you know it, it's like, it ain't no BSing around it.
But you're true. All those commercials are designed to make us like consume things, buy different product, pick this or this. It's all control and manipulation. Yeah.
You know what's the worst is, like, I remember, and how I know, it used to work on me too, for sure. I'm not gonna be the person
Worked on everybody.
Um, like, I never. I remember when you go to New York, everything's just really tall. Like, you just surrounded, even though it is like that in some parts, but I thought that's how it was all around when I was a kid. And I remember coming over to the States, and oh, do you have cable? Do you guys have bathrooms? Do you have, like, oh, you buy cars? And I didn't get offended. Sometimes I used to be like, it was because programming, that's all they see, and you can't be mad at somebody say that. That's all they see, and they learn what they see on TV. That's their perception. So imagine if it's like that. If they're around, like, if they came out of a movie right now and it was based in St. Lucia, and it was a gangster movie, and they were showing people in St. Lucia taking off friggin' just everything down. They don't play about it. You say wrong. If you look at them wrong, your hair flying off. People gonna get scared of going to St. Lucia.
For real?
So it is, though. I mean, but it wouldn't be like, St. Lucian people would come on and be like, it's not like that. They ain't gonna stand for that. I'm trying to say, like, some people are especially they're gonna St. Lucian.
Yeah. It's the same reason, like, why a lot of people are afraid of black people because of what they see on TV, how they're programmed.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one thing. Like in some ways, we as black people need to stand up for each other and stop each other from doing this because in some ways, part of the reason why these guys are able to say these things about black people is because there are black people doing that. You know what I mean? Now, why are black people out there stealing, robbing, whatever?
That's a whole can right there because
No,
I
but
mean,
listen, I'm going somewhere with this. Why are these people doing that? A lot of it is because they don't have a choice. They need to feed. They need to, you know what I mean, survive. And so the question is, like, if you support, like, if they had an opportunity to do something different, would they do something different? Right? Usually, I'm willing to put on money on yes, they would if they were giving the opportunity. And so now it's like, what are we doing as black people to create more opportunities to stop other black people from having to do what we don't want them to do so that they don't tarnish our name? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I think about all the time. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? The amount of black people that I see that just don't give it up, even just to me, let alone to other black people that need it, you know? It's like, it's disappointing. It's almost like you can't be mad at these people for saying this stuff about black people, that black people are pimps and they're thieves and they're drug dealers and stuff. Like, we allow an environment to exist. We don't help our own kind to stop this environment from existing. Like, it's almost like we expect someone else to come in and fix the problem for us, when really the problem is just help your fellow black guy. So Gold Seamoss says they've been programmed by what has been shown on TV to them. Gangs didn't get real big until they got, yeah. And then everybody was like, shit, I need to popularize, I need to jump on a gang because they seen it on TV. The media fucks up everything. Like, everything was cool until the media gets it. Skateboarding was cool, media fucked that up. Hip hop, it was cool, media fucked that up. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that hip hop, and I mean, it's not even really hip hop in my belief anymore. It's more rap and entertainment. But I'm surprised that it lasts as long as it has.
it's the youngest genre. And listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing about how what this is one thing what I the culture of black people. Even though it comes from a bad place, like almost one of the only cultures that can make something bad but cool is like a black person. Like, come on, think about like saggy pants, like even though okay, cool, right? That jumps out of style and all that, but we made it look cool, streetwear and stuff like that, like stuff. Because come on, think about it. I don't like. I really do think like that urban wear and the streetwear of baggy clothes came from having to be passed down, like the origin, because we my bigger brother or older something or something that like too big for us to look cool. That's what we did. Making things that we did that friggin' was discarded. The discarded shit tastes good, even though it's not good for you. It's survival food now, right? Cool, but still made it taste good and turn it into that last sticky junk. Still friggin' eat it. I would say get away from that junk. It's not good for you, but still you could be proud of it. It's a great origin story. Like, come on, like think about that. All of that. Make it just thing. Hip hop, rap, and stuff like that. Just words coming off. Like I'm freaking it. Country is the way came from hip hop. I believe whatever. And rhythm. I mean, blues came from black folks. straight pain. Something you don't want to, like people always talk about pain, but that was straight pain. And it made it cool. It made it good. You could dance to pain, bro. Like, you could dance to pain now. That's one. I think that's one of the black folks that like that. Making dark, right? Like you can make things, just like
Are you moving the phone around when you talk?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to put me on point because I don't be. I'm on an Android. I'm not like cool like you.
I'm actually talking to you on an iPad, but it's going in and out. What country are you in?
I'm in Florida right now. Yeah, Florida, the U.S. But I'm probably I had to leave because it didn't let me talk for a bit. So I could go on my laptop. But I just.
Yeah, it's better now. It's fine. Yeah.
Even like hairstyles and stuff like that. Like, you remember? I mean, like it was a time and age when women would wear the corsets or whatever to get more shape.
Mm-hmm.
Look shape and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not but come on, man. Like, but in today's age, something that was frowned upon, like in beauty, it was being like too shapy, like high that everybody trying to get. That's, I mean, hey, shout out to my standing sisters and all that. They ain't just black folks, but maybe like, just, but I'm saying, like a lot of that big booty is, come on, man. Like, you go to Africa, that's all you're going to see. Like, you're going to see that meat. Or if you go to the islands, that's all you're going to see abundance of, like, bigger, nice and shape. You're going to see that over here, too. You know, it's like, like, a lot of stuff. Just the culture that's pushing people and you could almost like you have to be yourself. It had to be that sort of thing. That's all they had. Be from the ghetto, be from the bottom, but when we make it to the top, it's what we do with that power. So when you get it, how you wanna let's make it better. Like you don't have to do this no more. You have to get out the survival, survival state of mind. Try to push the progress so you can get up over that's what we do. That's what we can do. Listen to it faster. Like that's my deal. Like I want to be in that kind of ground where everybody else kind of positive. That's what we on our way to because we've been trapping stuff. And we stop and do it. We could we don't have to do that no more. Kind of deal. We could rap about it. We could talk about it. And we could talk about the hustles and stuff. Like, we don't have to do it. All the black folks could do it. Yeah, like I mean, you have to make money off it. I know it doesn't seem good and all that, but you have to say that at the same time. Like, why you doing? You have to, because Jeezy always used to say that kind of deal. At first, I used to listen to him. It's like you have to, like, I sometimes I can't lie. I went to the street to do certain things, and I used to listen to it fast money. But when people in this, it was the people around me that told me I don't have to do this and why they did it. So it was almost like it's very weird, but when it comes to this, they knowing who will handle it and who shouldn't be in there, they kind of push you out of it, and that's who pushed me out of it. Yeah, man, like so that's like almost like the generation now. It's cool. Kids, they don't have to do this like something that was fun. You don't have to play basketball, but it's YouTube. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they can do. Like, they want to do something with culture because that's what they want to do. That's what they're attracted to, the culture of it. Like they want to be a part of the culture, but you don't have to be in the streets to be a part of the culture. You know?
True. True.
Rants, bro.
That's so good. Me too. I know what it's like. Sometimes you just say it all. Like I mean, there's like, what more can you add to it? Trying to add Ricky here from Gold Seamoss on Instagram, but for some reason it's not. Let me invite him. He's unable to join. I don't know. Yeah, but like you said, like earlier, hey, what's up, Ricky?
What's going on, man?
Not much, not much. How's your night going?
Going good. I was actually watching some Seamoss, so I was listening while I was watching Seamoss. So yeah,
nice. What do you?
I love to talk about.
Which is what the black
program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And actually, that's something I wrestle with all the time because, like, I know I'm being programmed.
Mm-hmm. That's so you see it once you acknowledge it, you see it everywhere. You know,
like music, like rap music, and that's my biggest. That's really my biggest issue with rap music because I grew up off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it programmed us. Like most of the young people are programmed to just do foolishness because that's what they see and that's what they hear on rap music. Mm-hmm. So it's a pipeline for us. Pipeline for them to make more money off of us when we go to jail, get free labor.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it all works hand in hand.
Yeah, it's terrible. But now you gotta understand. Now the new. I won't even say the music, but the new pipeline is video games. Mm-hmm. Because we don't know how to talk it out, like you were saying earlier. We don't know how to talk it out. Like you don't talk it out on video games no more.
No, there's no communication unless some Call of Duty or something like that.
No, they're talking out on Call of Duty. They shooting.
Yeah, well, my brother plays it. He's always talking shit to other people on it. That's why I said it. But hey, just to answer this person's question, no, we're not both from St. Lucia. Do you have any relation to St. Lucia, Ricky, or no? I never asked you that.
I'm from Iowa.
Yeah. And I'm from Toronto, but my dad is St. Lucian, and my mom is from Grenada. So I am an island boy, although I wasn't born there. Should I answer that question? But yeah, the programming stuff, everybody's always making money from it. I mean, but like I said earlier, once you acknowledge it, I believe it reduces the effect on you.
It definitely does. Yeah, you'll stop listening to certain music. You turn certain music down. You know that frequency really, really starts to affect you after a while. Mm-hmm. Changes and things like that. Like we went into a dark time where a lot of our music was real dark. Like the 808 is really, really low frequency, and it actually just down to the lowest frequency that you can possibly imagine. Mm-hmm. So we have to be mindful of that. Yeah, I've turned off a lot of music. I've turned off a lot of. Like I'm a movie freak. Like I love movies. Mm-hmm. Like I watch movies all day long, and sometimes, like, okay, so this is a new show, and I had to turn it off because it started making it like it was affecting my sleep. Called Euphoria. That show, man, it's like crazy. That's when I decided I need to turn off TV for a while because it had way too much going on. Like, and then the age of these people that they're talking about, like my kids are almost that age, and I can't think like I'm just thinking about kids watching that show now, and they're giving you a play by okay, this is what you do if you're like they're telling you they're programming you to be a certain way.
So what's this euphoric show about? I've never heard of it.
It's just wild, like. Like, I had to turn this shit off. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's about drug addicts, about high schoolers having sex and taking drugs and all this craziness, man. Like, when I say I watched like 2 episodes before I went to sleep, and I couldn't, like, it was affecting my sleep. Like, I was seeing it in my sleep, and I was like, you know what? This is way too much.
Oh, the chick Zenaida is on there.
Yeah.
You know, she looks like my daughter.
Yeah, so you really won't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm dead serious. You really won't want to watch it.
All right, then.
Because you go crazy. Like, you'll start thinking about it. And being in these certain atmospheres and things of that going on, yeah, it'll drive you crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how much, like, not so much she looks now, but when they were younger, they definitely looked, like, super similar. Where I was like, holy shit, you know? And it wasn't until someone pointed it out to me, because I didn't even know who the chick was, you know? But she was, like, on Disney or something. Right? That's where she came from. It's funny how... What?
She's a good actress. Like,
yeah.
I want to watch it as far as... It's a good show as far as the acting, but it's just way too realistic.
The acting is almost too real, too good.
Well, scenarios, and you be like, what is... I mean, like, oh, man. Like, you know, I don't have, like... You got transgenders and young girls having sex with old guys, and all this craziness. I'm like, oh.
But that shit happens, bro. You know? I remember in high school, and I can only imagine it's worse now. You know what I mean?
This is not what... This is
okay, I'll have to see the show before I, like...
like our high school. Like, no, this is a level of it. Like, this is like high school 3.0.
All right.
Like, yeah.
I remember I used to...
It's a tough watch for a parent. That's what it is.
I had girls in my high school that were like moonlighting as escorts. I had a girl. There was a girl. I didn't go to high school at the time, but after I left high school, there was a girl that went to this high school, right? Because I used to chop all around all the high schools. So there was a girl, and they used to call her the headmaster, and yeah, and she would charge money. Like, there was an area in this school, like underneath the stairwell, and she had a chair there, and she would hang there, and guys would come and give her money to get blowjobs and take turns and shit. Yeah, for real.
Oh, that's wild, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right now.
Huh?
Learn that from.
Where's the girl right now? I don't know.
No, learn that from. How did she learn to put a chair underneath the benches? And
I think the guys did it or something. I don't know. She was getting money for it. There was this other girl that it was like, because I used to hang out at this pool hall. We used to operate in this pool hall, and the girl was like, it was one of those girls that was like, as soon as she came up the stairs, the first guy that ran up on her would take her. And then it's like, she would basically come, and if no guy come there, she'd wait to just some guy would just take her to go smash it. Every day, different guy. Doesn't matter who it was, as long as they gave her attention. Like, it's crazy how the kids were operating, you know what I mean? And I can only see it being worse, you know?
Yeah, it's worse.
I don't want to check the show.
It was worse when I was in school.
Yeah. Well, have you seen this? We're talking about the show Euphoria.
Yeah. I can't look at it. I can't look at it. That's too much for me. I'm more into like fantasy comic books. I like comic books.
Stick to your comic books.
Yeah, like I like comic book movies, and I like goons. I'm not old and Dr. Squad, stuff like that. I mean, the only show I really I was hooked to. I was hooked to. Like, it was, what's this show called? Dark. It's on Netflix called Dark. It's about time travel, like, what happened over there with the, radiation and stuff.
So. Never heard that show. Buck.
Yeah, it's called Dark.
Oh, Dark.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's real slow, but I'm into that type of stuff because I like slow stuff when they explain everything.
I'll have to check it out. I have this. I can't tell you what it is because it's like so fucking super secretive. Like, I think if they find out you ever talk about it, they'll cut your membership. but I have a membership to this like streaming service, and they get everything. Like,
all right, you plug me in, man.
I think I know what you're talking about. I got one of them.
It's not the IP box, although those IP boxes are good. This thing, it costs us like something like $5 a month or something like that. And
I know what you're talking about. They got it in Texas.
Yeah, we got the Fire Stick. I shouldn't talk too much about it, but I got a Fire Stick that does all that.
Yeah, that's the popular one. This one's a little bit different, and you can only get it by like invite only. Hey, I just seen Seamoss boss is
What's going on,
man? I sent him an invite. Let's see if he joins in the conversation. I hope he comes in. You know, I'm always jumping in his lives, sneaking in to show support.
How you found out about the streamer, sir?
So my wife did it. I'll tell you quickly. It's Flexify. It's called Flexify. You heard of it?
Yeah, I saw it. I think I saw it, but they were selling like 3. I mean, I don't know what the same thing is. It might be different, but I'm thinking about these boxes.
It's
like media.
It's not a box.
It's like internet. There's everything on it, like screen and stuff.
It's not a box. It's like a streaming service. It's like a Netflix.
Okay, so it's just browser. Is it a browser?
Yeah, it's a browser. It's like Netflix on steroids. But you have to be invited. It's like a member only thing, and you have to be invited. Like we got an invite. You have to invite me.
You have to invite me to that. You heard me?
I'll check with my wife because I think we only get 3 invites. Like it's real. Yeah, it's real. Vodka.
Hold on. We're gonna do it like this. Wait. If you invite me, I invite him.
Yeah. Oh shit. Look at Money Fam 06, man. Listen, big shout outs to y'all. Thanks, man. Maybe we should get it on Seamoss. Start talking about Seamoss.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you know, that's what I love about this show. We don't how do you say it? We don't go everywhere, talk about everything. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys seen on Facebook, but I've been going pretty off on the Wildcrafted and Farm. You know, he's like, I'm a big Ricky Ray's fan. His products are supreme. Yes,
man, bro, I appreciate you, man.
And that's like something that he points out. Like part of the reason why Ricky's products are supreme is the care and select that he does in selecting these products. And so even with farmed or wildcrafted, like to me, it's like what's more important is the whole like logistics of what you're buying, like right from who's touching it out of the water to who's it's kind of like your local drug dealer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you find a guy that you trust, that you know, like sometimes you can't be there to get it from the source, and that's okay. But you trust that the person that is getting it is checking it and making sure that it's right, it's proper, it's of good potency. Like, I don't know about you, Ricky, but there's a lot of Seamoss we reject. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to meet a certain standard. And then there's a lot of people that aren't going to reject that Seamoss. And so, you know, say you have wildcrafted Seamoss, and it's how do you know if it's rejected Seamoss or not? So
yeah, it gets crazy because like I sent out to people. Actually, like just recently, I sent some because it was a little bit darker than what I normally send out. So I sent it out, but I'm like, here, I'm about to send you a couple pounds just to see what you like about it. Like, see if you can use it. Because most of my people are making products. And I'm telling you, making products, do you really need the prettiest Seamoss to make the products? You just need some Seamoss that don't work, and you want something that's going to be potent. I want to give you the potent Seamoss that's going to make your customer come back to you. Pretty doesn't be potent. So I always say, you know, I'll throw some out to somebody like, hey, here you go, try this out. Let me know what you think. Like, if it works for you, I got this a little bit cheaper because I don't sell this for look. I sell this for people that products. Like, just recently, had a customer, and I had to explain it to her. I was like, so you want the light bright, or are you making products? She's like, okay, so what's the difference? I said, okay, the stuff that I give you that I'll send you to make products is not going to look the best. I'm going to send it to you for cheaper. I'm probably going to throw a couple extra pounds on there. However, it's going to act the exact same way. You're probably going to get more bang for your buck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love Seamoss, man. When you have a boss like I'm gonna tell you what my biggest thing was during the pandemic, that I really couldn't put my hands on it anymore. Mm-hmm. Like everybody gloves on, I'm like, man, I can't get the feel. Like I need to feel the Seamoss. I need to they're like, put gloves, man. I don't want to put no gloves on. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna put my hands in this Seamoss and see what it really, really feels like. Mm-hmm. Like I sit all day. Like right now, I'm on break from washing Seamoss right now.
Yeah,
yeah, but I'm gonna go back to it in just a minute because that's like my happy place.
Yeah. Wait till you go and farm the Seamoss, bro. Wait till you get in the water. It's like, trust me, it's unreal with the current. Or like when you're, yeah, bro, we salute you too, Seamoss boss. I see you. But dude, there's nothing that I've told this story hundreds of times, but there's nothing that beats like trapping along the water, and then the Seamoss will grab you because it's got tentacles things, right? And it's flowing in the water, and it will grab you. And like at first, the first couple of times, it would freak the shit out of me because I'm like, what the fuck? And then now, like, it's like to the point where I know to feel it. And so sometimes you feel it and you pull up, and dude, there'd be like a massive bush because this thing has been sitting there growing upon each other in the water, just, you know. Dude, it's like all over the place, like tumbleweed. And so sometimes it's like, okay, how big is this piece? Could it like you get excited? It's like unearthing treasure. But what's even more exciting is like every piece is money. You know, it's like $10 here, $15 here. There's a, you know, and so it's like you're just like, yeah, free money. You know, so yeah, it was awesome.
Hard time coming back to the States.
Pardon?
I said I probably would have a hard time coming back.
You would, because the lifestyle is like so easy. You know what I mean? You can, like, the passenger can drink beers in the car while they drive. So like we would have a cooler in the car, and I'd be like, cause I never drove, and I'd always like be in the cooler. You know what I mean? And yeah, and it's just the beers are cheap. The weather's nice. The food's good. You know, what's up, Yusuf?
Yeah.
I see you switch from Clubhouse to Instagram.
Yeah, y'all probably can't see me. I'm in the back.
Oh, there I can see you. You look like you're behind a wheel. Are you driving?
Yeah. I'm driving. It's a late night today.
Okay. So what do you do?
Yeah,
Do you like hit cruise control when you're driving? Don't crash the car.
Oh hell no! I don't do cruise control. Oh no.
That's not good. I don't know. I figured.
No, not in the truck. I need full control.
That must be hard.
I holler at your car.
Not really. Huh?
I hollered at your Congress Christmas guy too. Good people, man. That was good.
Yeah, it's multiple people because I wanted to send you another guy.
I know.
Some stuff I have from someone else. You know, the sample stuff. I want you to check that out.
Yeah, because I talked to the guy. I actually got to get back with him too. But I love his operation on how he's actually doing his thing, man. I was kind of weary at first, and then I started going through his page. I was like, bro is really doing it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, you can find somebody down here. You don't have to get it imported because it's gonna be, too much.
Yeah, it's
for that particular type.
Yeah, and the other dude, Thomas, I've been using my Ninja to chop up He just paid me about 3 hours a day. Oh, I've been using that crazy.
This guy Money Fam says, and I've been dealing with Seamoss for the past 2 years strong, and I've made a killing in the city making Seamoss smoothies. I went crazy, but it's so much more convenient for my customers and I to receive those same exact benefits from just taking 2 to 3 capsules with only a bottle of water. Yeah, it's true. You swear by the powder, right, Ricky?
Do you sell smoothies or no?
Who, me?
Yeah. Do you sell smoothie where you at?
No.
Do you think it's worth it or no?
I'd rather get a smoothie than get gel. I'll be truthful with you. I'd rather, if I was gonna go into business, I would actually do a smoothie business before I really just sold gel. My thing is that me personally, I probably get a smoothie about 4 times a week, maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
I ride by Smoothie King and it's on my app. Boom. I pull up, I get my smoothie, I'm out. If I actually I've been talking to him. If I can get Seamoss dumped in that smoothie, I'm set.
Yeah.
I like the smoothie aspect. Not to mention for people that actually really trying to make money.
Yeah.
It's a daily situation where you get money daily. Like that smoothie money, that gel money is bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm looking rough, man. I know it's 12:36 at night. I'm in Florence, South Carolina, man. But I seen y'all on live. I gotta join in this. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't mean to cut you off. I ain't mean to cut my man off. You go ahead and finish. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna wait for you, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off. No disrespect.
No, I'm done. I want to hear some other people talk. I be talking way too much.
Well, you were talking earlier, Money Fam, about the Connor's Christmas pills, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, listen. That Connor's Christmas, that joint is nasty. I ain't gonna lie, it's nasty. Like this right here.
Ain't that shit nasty, boy?
It's nasty.
That shit tastes like fish guts.
And it's hard to clean.
Fish
I got this right here from my man Ricky Ray right here. I got like a half a bag left.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, you going through that?
Huh?
Over there going through that, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Like, hey man, cause listen, to be honest with you, I've been in a real bad car accident, right? My uncle, this is my story. Like, I've been in a real bad car accident, right? And I'm gonna show you some, like, so you won't think I'm like, my uncle, he been telling me, like, after my car accident, I always, like, I ain't never cared nothing about no pills. And you know, you hear everybody addicted to pills and all that, right?
Yeah.
And my brother, he told me, he was like, hey man, hey, listen, I can't really, but all this right here is pills from my doctor, man.
Wow.
All these right here is pills from my doctor. You see all of it bottled up. I just ain't nothing I just put together. Nothing like this, right? All these pills bottled up. Like I don't even use them. I get them because you know what I mean.
They don't want to make you get them.
Yeah. You know what I mean. And it's part of my bag. Y'all. I got 3 kids, so my house a little junky. But
it's okay.
But long story short, I got addicted to Percocets, man. Like I've been in a real bad car accident. Like I got a spinal cord injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got a high level spinal cord injury. So I can still walk and all that. Like if you look, you can see the trach in my neck. Like,
oh wow.
I had the trach, but you can see where I had the trach at. Yeah. Like I was paralyzed from the neck down. Man, I done took so much different medicine, man. I done took so many different medicines. Like try this, try that, try that. And then, you know, I've been started doing a lot of research. Like, yo, really, like they take you straight up like, it's a practice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a practice. They take you straight up like, yo, you know what I mean? You're going to a practice. And then I just felt bad, like, okay, that ain't working. Okay, well, let's try this. I felt like a guinea pig, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't know what to do, really. They're just taking guesses.
And I was like, shoot. I'm like, man, I got addicted to them Percocets. I done had Tramadol and Percocets and hydrocodone. The last thing they gave me was the Percocets, and I got addicted to it. I'm like, man, these things giving me energy. Like, so I'm up moving and walking around. But then I tried to stop because one of my daddy's best friends died from we just know he died from some kind of narcotics. It wasn't no heavy drug, but it was like Percocets or some, you know what I mean? Some kind of prescription, you know what I mean? So, and I felt like that was the way I was headed. And I tried to stop. I'm like, man, that's scary right there. That's scary. So I tried to stop. And I couldn't. I'm like, you know what I mean? My mind's stronger than that. I go to church on Sunday, boom, boom, you know what I mean? I'm stronger than this. I tried to stop, and it was like, nah, but where you think you're going? You know what I mean?
Were you getting like sick or something?
Huh?
Did you get like dope sick or something like that from it, or because it's like an opioid, right? Did you get? Yeah.
Like you get stomach can't tolerate.
That's the only thing I didn't get. Like I didn't have the throwing up and the diarrhea and all that. But what I did have was like I was having withdrawals. Like I couldn't talk. Like I wasn't able to be social with others. You know what I mean? I was like, but I'm like, dang. And I'm telling my doctor, I'm like, hey doc, if you could give me something else that'll give me energy, I'd be good. You won't even have to give me Percocets no more. He's like, hey Sylvester. He's like, it's not giving you energy. It's just blocking your pain and making you feel like you can be normal like other people. I'm like, nah, man. Like, this thing giving me energy. All I need is the energy. Well, if that ain't the problem, I just need something with some energy. And I don't know if that's wrong or not, but I was on Facebook and I seen this dude named G. Reagan. I don't know if y'all be on Facebook or not.
Yep.
But he was the first person I ever brought Seamoss from. And man, no, it's my uncle. It's my Uncle Willie. My bad. And then, but it's like he want me to turn up in Florence, South Carolina. I'm like, bro, we can make money together. But so my brother, he was telling me, he's like, hey, bro, I never took a Percocet before, but I know how you said them Percocets make you feel, but you need to try that Seamoss. And I'm like, what? He's like, bro, you need to try that Seamoss, bro. I'm trying to tell you. That junk make me feel the same way you say that them pills make you feel. But he ain't had to tell me nothing else. I'm like, what? You got something to make me. All I need was the energy. You know what I mean? All I need, because I took baclofen and muscle relaxers and, you know what I mean, gabapentin, all that stuff make me sleepy. With my body being already worn down, I don't need nothing to drag me down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need something to bring you up.
I tried that Seamoss. I'm like, oh shoot! I'm up here vacuuming again. I'm vacuuming the house. I'm up watching TV. I'm like, oh shoot! And I'm like, nah, maybe it's a mind thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, this can't be this true because this joint is cheap and it's natural. Ain't no. Man, I tried it again like the next 2 or 3 days straight, and my whole city know me, and they know I've been in an accident. They know. Man, next thing you know, I'm walking around my neighborhood. I'm recording videos every day with me walking around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, my intention was to never sell Seamoss or smoothies. But I started having people like, yo, man, we see what it did for you. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, yo, let me try that. And I'm like, hey, listen, man. And you know what my accident with a spinal cord injury, it could kind of affect your relationship too.
That when the perks start coming into effect. And that when the perks will start
You feel me? You feel me? Man, listen, man. Now it's like my nerves start to kick in. Like, cause like my nerves is bad. So it's like I'm like half of my body is desensitized. So I know I'm feeling something, but I'm not feeling what I'm supposed to be, what it's supposed to feel like. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm taking that Seamoss. I'm like, I call my brother like, yo, bro, I can feel something. Now I'm like, ain't nowhere in the world this stuff right here, this cheap, and making this much of effect on me. Man, I put my whole city on the Seamoss, man. It was, man, listen, man. Oh my gosh, man, like this was like one of the most. This was like, you know what I mean? It sound like I'm a nigga on a commercial or something, but that Seamoss helped me out, and I'm telling my uncle, I'm like, hey, I don't think I need to take this at night because this thing kind of kept me up. He was like, yeah, bro, that's that energy. He's like, yeah, so it's just better. So I'm like, yo, every time I take it at night, I'm staying up to 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, yo, this joint is really giving me energy. Yeah. And listen, for real, whoever listening, whoever gonna see this later, Seamoss really saved my life and stopped me from being addicted to Percocet. Like, it wasn't, my accident was 2016. I got my first prescription of my accident was February 11, 2016. I got my first prescription of Percocet was probably in July. Because I kept telling them, I need something stronger. I need something stronger for the pain.
And nothing was working.
It wouldn't work. I started going through withdrawals. I couldn't talk to nobody. I ain't felt like, you know what I mean? I'm flipping out on the kids, my old lady, for no reason.
That's not good.
But, you know what I mean? But that Seamoss really... Man, listen, that joint have you start looking at other stuff like, okay, maybe next thing you know, you start thinking about elderberry. You know what I mean?
That's how it works.
And burdock root. And it's like amazing. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Now you're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, the gateway.
Right.
Well, hold on a second. Hey, Yusuf, can you mute your mic? Because all that stuff you're doing is making noise, and it's hard for us to hear each other.
It sounds like some emergency lights.
Yeah, it's like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, man, I hear everything. We heard you farting.
I ain't know if y'all can hear me. That's why I was talking loud. And it's crazy because we talking. I'm about to take my pills before I go to sleep. Like I take. Hey, Ricky, don't be mad at me, man. But I had ran out of your pills, so I had to go to the herbal store. But I had got some I don't know if it's Nature Way or what, but I had got some these 2 bladderwrack pills, and that yellow pill is something called wild oil of oregano.
Oh yeah.
Wild oil of oregano.
Oil perfect for you.
Huh?
Oil of oregano. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And another thing with the spinal cord injury, I wasn't using the bathroom like I was supposed to. I'm gonna just keep it like that. You know what I mean? Keep it monetized as possible. But with that bladderwrack and that Seamoss I be getting from y'all, man, like I was going to the bathroom on a regular. I wasn't feeling bloated and none of that crazy junk, man.
Man, I'm about to send you another bottle tomorrow, bro. Don't even worry about it. I got you.
Okay. Man, I see you, man. Listen, I even got my brothers in them buying stuff from you, like, and I'm telling him, he like, yo, man, listen. He like, what you think about? I was told him like Ricky Ray's, like Ricky Ray. But I ain't know you had all them other ones in the pill form too. You got the green Seamoss, the multi-spectrum, all that in the pill form. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh.
I just try to make it like possible. I try to make it easy as possible for y'all.
Right.
Whatever y'all want, you know, it's in the. If you get in the raw form, you get the powder form, you get.
Yeah.
You know.
And I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't mean to make your name sound crazy, but that green, the green and the purple, everything else, nasty. You know that stuff is nasty. But you get in the pill form, it ain't nothing, man. You know what I mean? You get in the pill form. You know what I mean? You might have a little aftertaste, but it's a whole lot better than trying to make a smoothie every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then putting that green stuff in that multi-spectrum. But yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, what's your name, brother? What's your name, brother, at the top?
Julien.
Huh?
Julien Jean-Pierre.
Okay, where you from, brother?
I'm from Toronto.
You said Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto, Canada. That's where I am at right now.
Okay. I heard something about you. What you saying? You was in you said you be in the ocean and all that with the Seamoss grabbing your legs, man. I want to go somewhere like that. Like I want to see exactly like where my medicine coming from. You know what I mean? I know it might sound crazy, but
no, dude. Let me know when you want to come down. We're doing the tours. We'll set you up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to get our Seamoss from the same people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's brotherhood almost.
Okay. I need to follow you. What's your name on here?
Me at St. Lucian Seamoss.
You said at what?
St. Lucian Seamoss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be following you. If not, I don't know. I might be following you, but if not, I'm gonna definitely follow you.
What's Look, probably some of the best Seamoss you're gonna get. St. Louis Seamoss right there with Julien.
Yeah, and I heard about it. They said they ain't got all them chemicals in the water and all out there from the boats and all that. You know, that's all they talk about is St. Lucia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because where they harvest the Seamoss, or at least where they farm the Seamoss, it's where there's like no boat. Like if there's a boat traveling, it's like a motor boat. You know what I mean? Like a small engine or whatever. Yeah. But hang on, Reginald, was it Rio or Reginald? You had a question, Rio, right?
Yeah. For the guy who was talking, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think he can hear. Can you hear him a little bit? Can you hear the guy?
I can hear.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I have a question. Did it affect your vascular system? Your spinal injury and everything?
Oh, you're talking to me? Say that again?
Yeah. Did your injury affect your vascular system?
Vascular. That sounds like the heart.
It's the heart, and then basically, all the way it's like your lymph nodes and basically everything that's running through your body, how your blood's running through your body and everything, like the flow of your blood.
Yeah, so that's what he's asking about, the flow of your body.
It really made everything better, man. My doctors asked me what was I doing.
So what I'm getting to is if you ever look at the farm, because herbalists usually it's two key things herbalists look at. They use the shape of the plant, the color, and like master herbalists, and they know the names of it, the benefits and everything. But if you ever see the way Seamoss was grown, especially it looks like the system, how it spreads out. If you look at how the vascular system and the lymph node system and basically how your blood is flowing, because if your spinal cord is messed up and your blood isn't flowing, and a lot of your neurons, the neurological connections from your brain and everything, it looks very similar to how Seamoss. I'm telling you, look how it grows and how the form of it. And the neurological friggin' system, how it looks is amazing. Like it's very intertwined and it looks very similar to each other. So anytime you're looking towards your herbs and you look into what to get, it can hint. It can give you a hint. Still research and still get consultation from a master herbalist or from your doctor, whatever you want to go to, but know what they're talking about. But if you want to hint what to go towards, your body will be able to tell you about the form of it. But I'm just letting you know that.
Cool.
Okay. I definitely appreciate it because I still go to my doctor, but I don't take none of their medicine. The only time I take their medicine is like a day ahead of time when I know they about to do blood work, or if I feel like they're gonna do blood work, because then they're gonna be like, hold on, we giving you this medicine. What you doing with it? So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking into where I was, and then I fell back. I had a lot of other life stuff going on with the kids and other stuff like that. But yeah, hey, and it's crazy because what you're saying sounds super familiar. Like it seemed like somebody brought that up to me before. Like what you're saying sounds real familiar, brother. Like it sounds real familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if I was seeing it on YouTube or or was it this show? I know another thing that kind of made me change the way I looked at food and medicine and all that. Right after my accident, my uncle he a vegan, and I ain't no vegan and nothing like that. Beef, but so I ain't no vegan and nothing like that. but he put me onto this show called on Netflix called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Oh.
Yeah. And I seen that, and I seen the difference with juicing and just the difference between the way you eat. So I don't know if it was on that show or did I see it on YouTube? Because you know, once you start looking up health stuff on YouTube, other stuff start popping up. Mm-hmm. But what you saying about the shape of like the neurons in the spinal cord and all that, that sounds real familiar. If you can you send me a link if you find it? Like, can you send it to my inbox on MoneyFam06 if you could?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna add you right now. I'm gonna add you on and then I got you. I'm gonna look it up so you can see.
Okay. So is that the thing that, what do they call it? The Fibonacci formula? Isn't there some formula that or fractals or something that it's like all life like forms this like mathematical equation, and it's like called Fibonacci or something?
Yeah, the numbers and the shapes. Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but yeah.
One of the first things that I thought about Rio when you said that, it kind of like blew me like a mind blow, like because I mean, like if you look at the veins on the leaf, or if you compare it to the lightning in the sky, and you compare it to our veins, and everything is kind of connected. And then if you do go back to the shape and the form of how Seamoss kind of grows, everything is kind of connected. So it kind of goes with that like the flow of like our blood and everything, how you say the vascular system. So I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. Man, that sounds so familiar, man. I'm telling you, that sounds familiar.
Seamoss resemble intestines sometimes too. There is shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I make some Seamoss right now. I made some other.
Like I said, I done ran out of Seamoss, man. But you know what I mean? Right now I'm just taking Bladderback and my little wild oil on oregano.
Y'all put the Seamoss in your hair?
Huh?
Do y'all put Seamoss in your hair?
The water, bro. What you soak the water in? That's that boom.
Yeah, I put in everything.
I put it all over my body.
Yeah, I put Seamoss in my hair, Seamoss in my face, Seamoss everywhere. Like this.
Mm-hmm. I've actually, you know what's funny? I've been really turned on to. Hold on, I'll bring it and show it
to you. Y'all should try that Seamoss salt he had.
You said Seamoss? Oh,
the Seamoss salt.
So my wife has started making fruit flavored gels. And so I never had fruit flavored gels. I'm too lazy, dude. But now it's so good. And I understand why some people only want to use the fruit flavored, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's fucking tasty.
Good thing. And that'd be my problem.
Yeah.
Like I have still that I just gone through it.
Well, look how much I've ate already of it. And she won't, she's so good. I asked her how to make it. She won't tell me how to make it. She's like, no, you're going to go blab it all over your fucking live stream. I'm like, no. But it is good. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk her into starting a business and you'll see her selling the gels.
Yeah, man. I was going crazy with the gels too, man. I was going crazy with it, but I wasn't consistent. And that's what. But this was like one of my top smoothie sellers right here. Mm-hmm. Like I get the joints with the packs.
Mm-hmm. The blends.
Yeah, they come like 5 or 8 in the pack.
What do y'all do with the water? What do y'all do with the water y'all soak y'all Seamoss in? What y'all throw it away?
No, they use it in the plants. I think some of these guys use it in their hair. But we kind of moved on. He's showing us the where he gets his smoothie blends from, like his ingredients for his smoothies. We'll get back to the water and stuff. Where do you sell it? Because I want to know where you sell your smoothies. Like, how are you selling them?
Oh, I'm selling them on Facebook in Florence, in my city. I don't sell them online. A lot of people try to get me to sell them online. But the thing is, even with me selling my gel online, I didn't feel comfortable, because it wouldn't still be the same weight, you know what I mean? And if people yo, get some ice packs or something like that, but it was too much. If anything, you know what I mean? I get some. You know what I mean? I get some pills.
Yeah.
I get the wholesale pills, but I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Even though they was buying it, but I didn't feel comfortable selling the gel online. Not on. I mean, through USPS.
Yeah, sending it through the mail. Unless you done perfected it. I talked to a lot of people, and there's some people that done perfected it. Me personally, if I'm gonna feel bad if somebody gets a busted jar, or the jar something happens to it. I'm a perfectionist, so a bad thing like that, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
You could use plastic jars.
I had that problem a few times too, but what you know what I do? I just send them another one. Okay, you know what I mean? Because I ain't trying to mess my name up. Okay, your jar is busted. Okay, my apologies. And then and you know with USPS they ask you hey, do you want to put this as glass or be careful with it, something like that.
Fragile.
Yeah, fragile. My bad. It's late, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's late. But so you put it as fragile, but that still ain't gonna make the driver say, "Hey, be careful." You can tell them, but you know what I mean.
He doesn't guarantee
I just send him another jar. Man. Hey, man, that's on me. My apologies. I didn't. You know what I mean? Personally, carry your jar down there, but you know what I mean. You sent me a picture, so I'm gonna send you another one. Hopefully, it don't happen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The worst come to worst, I'll send your money back. Because think about how much money, man, we can make off of one bag of Seamoss. You know what I mean? Man, you know what I mean? I grew up up under my father, man. I grew up under my father, and he was always telling me about flipping.
Exactly.
And then I found out how much you can make off Seamoss. You mean to tell me you can put this joint in some water and it's gonna swell up in a few hours, and I could make a whole. Oh my man, this was one of the greatest adventures of all time.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was talking to a Seamoss farmer today where he was kind of not really complaining, but kind of not wrapping his head around the fact that there's a lot of, and I agree with him in a sense, there's a lot of these guys that are making gels that are really putting a lot of pressure on these farmers to get the cheapest price. And it's kind of like, dude, you're making $400 a pound. What is $2 off your pound going to really do for you? Do the math. You're saving 30 cents off a bottle or something. Do you know what I mean? Sell more Seamoss.
For the price we're getting it for now, because I really, truthfully, once more information comes out, I see it just going skyrocket up.
Well,
yes.
I think there's gonna.
I've been saying that. I said once the government find out where that money at, because I know the government's seeing it now. And the crazy thing is, I keep thinking the government gonna look at Seamoss like weed. Man, listen, we can legalize this, not legalize it, but we got to figure out a way to get some tax. So these niggas making a lot of money. We ain't getting none of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They gonna figure out how to monetize it for themselves sooner or later.
They're talking about it in St. Lucia. You know what I mean? They're just trying to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah. So and still everybody make money. See,
no. Just so the government makes money and it's they'll be able to get their money. I think they haven't figured out a way that they can collect the tax on it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna start blocking the ocean. What they gonna have?
Mm-hmm. What I I'm like.
I've been thought about that. I said, man, I'm messing around, have to rack up on as much Seamoss as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
because I know it's gonna be something gonna come up one day. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be hard to get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that between us and the group, well, I can't say between them. We're doing it on a live, but I'm hearing rumors that that's the case. Like that in the next couple of months is going to be the sort of deciding factor of whether or not there's going to be a temporary shortage. And it's mainly due to the fact that a lot of the Seamoss was coming out in the wild, and that sort of is dried up. And so now there's going to be time between the stuff that they were getting in the wild and the stuff that they can start cultivating. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Seamoss, and rightly so. I hope the price kind of goes up, and because you were even saying it before, Ricky, like the stuff for what you get for a pound of Seamoss, it's so much health, and it lasts so much longer. You should be willing to pay more for it.
Right.
Like it's way too cheap.
It's so cheap anyway. Like I know you can get it by the boatloads, but I'm like, the profit you could make off this, like you could make a 300 to 400% profit.
Mm-hmm.
Off of this, like it's crazy. Like what Ricky, what I got like 3 pounds from you for like $99.
Yep.
Yeah, like like do you know what I could make off of 3 pounds?
Yeah, it's like $1,200.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what kind of profit margin that is?
Yeah.
You sound jealous.
People don't really even understand. I be trying to break it down to them. And I think they feel like I'm lying. Like I'm like, no, I should just take some of this and bring it down. Like I had a girl, she actually brought an 8-ounce bag. Like so she did the whole 8-ounce bag. Make the whole 8-ounce bag once. She calls me the next day, she's like, Rick, well,
this is too much.
I got like pushed. She's like, I guess I'm just gonna start selling Seamoss.
Word.
She's like, I just got it for $5. He said, I got to sell Seamoss. I'm like, well, I said, the one you just made the money back.
Yeah.
But listen, I was telling my people, like, man, you can sell your jars for $25, but I can sell them quicker for $20. I sell 5 jars, and I done made my money back, and I got enough to sell like 3, 4, 5, 6 more cases of jars. You know what I mean? And that's without it being watered down. That's without me, and I don't never water my Seamoss down. You know what I mean?
You get it.
I don't never. I see a lot of people like, hey, you good? You know what I mean? You really could. Like some people, I was seeing some people with their Seamoss all watered down. I'm like, God damn.
You can stretch it if you want to. Like you can stretch it all the way out.
Yeah. But I like my joint to be kind of have a little thickness to it.
Hit like you were hit like you want to hit hard.
Right.
You want that same feeling as you got. You want them to feel that same.
Exactly. Because they know from my story, so they looking for the same effects that I had. You know what I mean? So I can't hit them with no water moss. You know what I mean? I can't hit them with no jar of water moss.
That's straight drop, man.
Straight drop, baby. No, you know what I mean? No cuts. And I'm gonna pull up on you one day when I'm in Atlanta, man. Half of my family in New York, half of my family in Atlanta. Like I've been saying, I'm gonna come by there because I done been there. I just was down there for my son's birthday, like because you was in Atlanta, right?
Yep. And whenever you in Atlanta, man, just hit up.
Okay. Yeah, I got people in Douglasville, people in Riverdale, Stone Mountain. My mama just moved from Camp Creek to Riverdale, so.
Oh, but
your phone going, your joint going out, Rick.
I said every place that you talking about, I'll be there. Stone Mountain, I live right around the corner from Stone Mountain.
Word.
Yeah, I live right around the corner. Riverdale. Yeah, that's just ain't nothing but a ride.
Okay. Yeah, man. Is she? I think she off the Old National exit. I ain't sure. I ain't. You know what I mean?
Old Neck. Yeah.
Old Neck, baby. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to pull up on you, man. I've been saying, I'm like, man, I want to pull up on you.
Yeah, I love Old Neck.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Yusuf, I don't know if you know, but your mic's off again.
It's off?
Yeah, like, or on. We can hear you again.
What the hell?
Hey,
Yusuf be in that truck chilling.
Where you from, Yusuf?
I'm from New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Hey, I got people. One of my aunts that's from Atlanta and live in Atlanta. Her husband is from New Orleans, and they just had like a big Zulu party in New Orleans. Like I think this past weekend.
Oh yeah, for Mardi Gras.
For Mardi Gras, yeah.
Mardi Gras. That was Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Carnival time is just fast.
Okay, yeah.
I was happy I wasn't home because I had to deal with it. Good grief, I'm happy.
Mardi Gras is crazy. I actually been to one in Mobile too. The one in Mobile be crazy, but that one and
you been in New Orleans before?
Yeah, I went to New Orleans. Like I had been 19, 20 when I went to the one in New Orleans, and I was.
Yeah, because sometimes they get wild, and you gonna see some shit you don't want to see.
Yeah, man. I got that was like one of the first times that I think I blacked out.
Oh shit.
I don't first place to black out.
Yeah, that ain't the place to black out, bro. I used to get off from work. I used to see women just laid out on the ground, bro. Bro, I used to be so scared. I was like, oh, I ain't even walking that way. I'm like, I'm going all the way around, boy. I'm talking about, bro, knocked out. Then they got a skirt on, legs gapped open. They just laid out of it. But I used to be scared. I ain't used to want to walk, boy. I used to be scared in New Orleans trying to go home at night.
No, that's dangerous.
I want to go to a Mardi Gras, man. I ain't been since I was a little boy. My daddy took us when we were some little chicks, man. But I want to go as an adult, man. Like, and I heard like the hotels ain't that much. Like, I don't know if it's true. I
don't know who lied to you.
Yeah, that's not.
They lied to you.
Hotel right now for next year.
Yeah, most of that ticket's gonna be $300.
Hey, you know, and I believe you too, because that's just like where I'm from. Like me, I'm in Florence. Y'all ever heard of Florence, South Carolina?
Yeah.
I'm 1 hour. I'm like 50 minutes from Myrtle Beach. And y'all ever heard of Bike Week?
Oh.
So, you know what I mean? Luckily, we got family and all that down there. But man, listen, Bike Week, man, them rooms like.
Oh, y'all got a Bike Week down there?
Yeah, but I live in Florence, but Myrtle Beach probably is like another Mardi Gras, like in a different sense. Though I don't know how to explain it.
It's like Freaknik. It's like Freaknik.
There you go.
Yeah, Freaknik. Yeah.
Freaknik with
I don't even think they do that no more in New Orleans, man. That shit used to. What?
Hey, I love New Orleans music though. I ain't gonna lie. I love New Orleans music, boy. Listen. I love
Juvenile in them.
I like the New Orleans bounce.
Like that bounce music.
Yeah, I like the bounce music. I like the bounce.
I thought you were talking about Juvenile, huh?
Yeah, I mess with Juvie too. I just don't mess with the shoot them in the face and kill your dead homeboy music stuff. Like I ain't. These the NBA young boys. The last one of the New Orleans music I listen to is Boosie.
Nah, he not New Orleans though. He ain't New Orleans.
He
Baton Rouge.
It's almost a whole different sound almost. New Orleans got its own sound.
Yeah, New Orleans have. It is similar, but it totally is different. They talk the same a little, but different. A lot different.
Word.
Yeah. Who out of New Orleans really popular right now?
NBA.
Nobody. He not from New Orleans.
Yeah, he from Baton Rouge too.
He not from New Orleans.
See, that's my bad. I'm getting Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I thought all that's like the same thing. Like
I mean, sometimes we consider all that the same. To be honest, people in New Orleans don't really care.
Yeah, you just when you speak about Louisiana, but shoot, a lot of the music coming out of Louisiana is really from Baton Rouge right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I listen to, and I was just listening to on the night at my uncle's store. I put that Tucker on. I know about that Tucker.
Who? T.T. Tucker?
Tucker.
I know T.T. Tucker from back then.
He like some. He like house music. It's like he got like he do like house music.
House music like Chicago house music?
Nah, like New Orleans house music.
I don't know what you mean house music. I never heard of like.
I've never heard of New Orleans house.
Yeah, you say you're not heard house music?
No, I've heard of house music, but not from New Orleans.
It don't call if it's in New Orleans, they don't call it house music. You mean bounce music or what?
I'm thinking. I was just listening to one of his songs. I think is it Candy Shop?
I don't know. That sounds like 50 Cent with Candy Shop.
No. Hold on.
No, what it is, I think I kind of know what you're talking about. Like it's a. I don't even know if you call it house music.
The local music.
Yeah, it's like a. I don't think you call it house music there. It's more like it's not the bounce, but I really can't even describe it. It's like what you call local, but it's not the bounce. It's more of a local sound, but it's more like a. See, now I'm about to go to this link.
Yeah, I don't know because we don't really have local. We don't really have local people anymore.
And he a big deal too now. Like he a big deal. Like that man. Listen, I love his music. Like
you ain't talking about Frida, huh, bro?
Huh?
You ain't talking about Frida, huh?
You said Frida.
I mean, that's the only person that I be seeing in New Orleans.
I just put the link up there. I think it's from New Orleans. I ain't sure, but I think he's from New Orleans.
Now you got me looking up Tucker.
Hey, listen, like if that's like if you like house music, like hey, anytime I go to my aunt and since her husband from New Orleans, like, they the ones that put.
He might be Tucker, because I know an old dude, T.T. Tucker. That's about it.
Yeah, he an older guy. Click on. Matter of fact, check your phone. I'm just sitting there.
Somebody T.T. Tucker from around the way and something. It's like bounce music, but not bounce music.
Yeah. I guess that's like.
Yeah. If you talking about Tucker, T.T. Tucker, that's like from like 95, 94, and 96 and shit like that. Unless he's still making music, I don't know.
I don't know nothing about the numbers.
I'm talking about 1994.
Oh, it might be. Yo, I don't even know, man. Like I just know he got some good music. Like he ain't no new rap. He ain't no rapper or nothing like that. But he got that New Orleans feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my people like he call himself he's from. They call themselves the Zoo Boys. You ever heard of the Zoo Boys?
Nope.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they from like the crazy parts of New Orleans, and I done been down there. I ain't never been to the Mardi Gras, but I done been down there with people and all them. But
I mean, yeah, you got multiple crazy parts because not a crazy part is the East where all the people had money. That's where you don't want to go now. Yeah. It was in the city at first, and then it switched to my side, was like the West Bank of New Orleans. And that was horrible for a minute, but right now I don't even like driving around in that city.
Okay. Yeah. But that's what's up. Hey, listen, man. I got to take my kids to school in the morning, man. Y'all have a blessed one. I hope everybody have a prosperous day, prosperous week. I hope everybody prospers, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming and joining us, and gracing with your presence and sharing that information, man.
I'm gonna send that out to you tomorrow, bro.
Okay, appreciate it. And you can check my inbox. I got my Instagram and I left a comment on your I left a review on your page too.
Yeah, and if
you know what I mean.
And if people wanted to get products from you from a local area, they just hit you up, MoneyFam06.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wicked.
Sir.
So yeah,
and
make sure
send me a inbox or DM, whatever you call it, so I can make sure I can follow you.
All right.
You too, yourself, because that was some vital information that you gave me about with like neurons and the shape of the plant and all that. Like I'm into all that stuff. So.
That wasn't
me. That was the other cat.
That was Rio. So right now, while we're doing this live stream, there's also a Clubhouse chat and a YouTube and Facebook chat. And so there was Rio from the Clubhouse. But I'll let him know.
Okay, I want to be tuned in. This is stuff that I'm tuned in. I ain't into the, you know what I mean? I want to be tuned. I want to be in tune, man. This is the kind of energy that I'm in tune with. You know what I mean?
It's motivating, man, for sure.
Right,
it motivates everybody.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. We'll come by anytime. We do this Sundays and Wednesdays. Yeah, usually after 9:30, but sometimes I start late. Like today, I started at 10:30. But it's not my fault, man. I got a busy life. I had to drive my dad all the way across town home, and then he wanted to go grocery shopping at the last minute. And so it's like I'm trying to rush this 75-year-old man finish grocery shopping. So and he's just like, "Why are you in such a rush for? What do you got to do? What do you mean live stream? So what? I don't eat because you're live stream."
Hey, you said you in Ontario, right?
Yeah, Toronto.
Hey, y'all ain't blocking our border no more, are y'all?
No.
I watch CNN all the time. They say y'all truckers been blocking. Y'all truckers been blocking the way.
Listen,
No, they stopped it once. They talk about somebody trying to bring some guns in there for the truckers, which they never showed the guns, never showed the truck, never showed nothing. They were just trying to start something so they can go out there and like really mess over those people, because it wasn't more than truck drivers. That was just people in cars out there. People came out there with their tractors and stuff like that. Farmers was out there. Everybody out there.
They said the United States lost millions and millions of dollars every day because the truckers said they weren't working or blocking the borders or something like that.
They're about to start losing more money right now too. The gas going up to $5. But I ain't about to be out here with no $5 gas.
But
hey man, please don't get me started on this Russian conversation. Please.
Yeah, you were trying to get off. You were trying to get off, and now
I was trying to get off, but man, politics.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
All I got to say, bro, United States ain't got shit to do with that. They need to mind their they need to mind their damn business. Leave the people alone. Let that man take his land back. And let China take their land back. Leave them alone. I don't want no beef with China. We can't handle that. No, China and Russia. Because China's standing by for Russia.
Russia and China is homeboy.
Yeah, we can't handle China. I'm sorry.
No,
they say we got number one military in the world.
Man,
that's a lie.
That don't mean nothing when we owe so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Why we owe China so much money, man?
Because if they sanction the United States, we fucked.
Yeah, if they cut off our supplies, we done.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you see, we slapped the sanctions on Russia. They said their dollar is worth less than a fraction of a penny right now. Do y'all see how many companies cut Russia off like Netflix, YouTube, Visa, MasterCard, McDonald's, Starbucks, like, hey, yo,
that don't even mean nothing, to be honest.
Hey, listen. I think it means a lot now. Think about it. You wake up and all your goddamn communication is gone. You know, you can't. You go.
I mean, they have their own communication. They just don't.
Can't even pay your bills.
No, they have all of that communication and shit amongst themselves. They just not linked to the U.S. in a sense. but the U.S. still own all of the banks and shit like that, so it's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. So it's a sad day in goddamn Russia too. I ain't know sanctions had that much of a bite.
That's why people need to be. That's why people need to be self-sufficient and do their own shit. But nobody, United States don't want that.
No.
We need to make our own damn oil. I thought it was impossible. I thought we just didn't have no goddamn oil plants or something like that. You know what I mean?
But everybody else.
Yeah, but see, that's what it's about too. Putin don't like the fact that they trying to run that pipeline through there. The U.S. trying to get their allies to run a pipeline through there. And Putin was supposed to run their pipeline through there with the gas to make money. So the U.S. really trying to fuck over them and cut them off from making money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to cut China and Russia off from making money.
Hell no, man. Everybody was spending money with Russia. You know what I
No.
mean?
You got to understand why the U.S. want Ukraine to be allies, because now they get to run the pipeline through there with the natural gas. That was Putin's idea. Now you're trying to cut Putin off from making money.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to cut him off.
No, listen. Ukraine wanted to be allies with us. That's why President Zelensky is mad.
That's one of them.
But it's a reason. It's a reason because it's about money. They want to run a pipeline through that. Russia was supposed to run the pipeline through there. Now remember, Ukraine was all of that stuff was always a part of Russia. They've been chopping Russia down for years.
Mm-hmm.
They cut that water.
Think about that shit.
Ukraine cut that water supply off. Like you got a whole city over there getting water flowing because they cut off the canal and everything. Like Ukraine, I'm gonna stay out of it.
Yeah.
Like
listen,
but we keep on feeding people money. Like we sponsor this stuff. Like we gonna send you a little bit, a couple $1 here and there. You know what I'm saying? Just so when stuff pop off, you can say, we helped you out. Let's go ahead and get this base in here. Let's go ahead and start moving out, start setting up our infrastructure in here. And once that's done, and Russia sees that. And
yeah. The boys ain't stupid now. The boys ain't stupid.
See, this is the thing, and I'm gonna be truthful. I'd be much more secure about what's going on if Trump was in office.
Thank you.
I'll be honest.
Thank you.
Like, see, this is I'm gonna break it down to how I feel. Like, I know who Trump is. I ain't never trusted Joe Biden for shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd rather go with somebody like. I don't care. Like, I don't have to like to know that you're gonna do what you're supposed to do. So.
Right.
I'm really with Trump. He just talks too much sometimes.
Yeah, and gas was cheaper when he was in that taxes was going down. A lot of shit was really better, but people just ain't like him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it though. When should we ever trust Joe Biden? Where did Joe Biden ever get from?
Nah, he used to be at Klan rallies. I don't trust him at all.
3 Joe Biden. Like, people don't understand, like, he put more black men in jail than anybody.
Yeah, was that 1991, 1994 crime bills?
And then, but see, this is the issue that I have, is that he was vice president for 8 years and never apologized about it, never said, I did this wrong, I shouldn't have did this. He just sat back and didn't say nothing. Then when it came up, when he was running for president,
Right.
It's too late now. You got 8 somebody.
Then he had the nerve to talk about, if you don't vote for him, you're not black.
I heard that. I'm like, hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I did vote for him. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I ain't vote for the nigga. I did vote for the nigga though.
A lot of
Lord, man, we gonna have to sanction you then, man. Let's sanction this dude out there.
Seamoss.
But that trick, like it was, like he put the right people around him to get it, to get where he needs to get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially that woman. The woman that he got his vice president, she fooled everybody. Fooled everybody.
Ain't seen nothing from her ever since. We ain't seen.
Not she the first Asian American vice president.
She's the first vice president that we ain't never seen before. Like when the last?
Oh yeah, and she like that came about on the media, but she kind of like she didn't want to say too much about it. Like you know what I mean? I guess she didn't want to make the nigga look bad or make it put.
Yeah, but bro, let me ask y'all this: when was the first time y'all heard of Obama? When y'all first heard of him?
Yeah, I guess in 07 when the nigga was running.
No, okay. Before that, like really 2 years before that, when he was in Chicago and he was coming up, and
Obama
he started having whispers of him about to join, about to really do.
Yeah, see, he got it right. That dude came out the blue, huh? He came out the blue. Yeah. And just started running, and people like, his skin is brown. We gotta vote for him.
Man, we've been
that dude ain't do nothing. I know my people know he ain't do nothing.
Know what he did?
He made me lose a lot of money.
No, he set us back. Because what it did, we got a company.
Yeah.
Like really, what before then, George Bush, and people don't really understand it, but Kanye had us on 10 about George Bush. You know what I'm saying? We were ready to go. We were like, nah, man, we ain't did it. Like we were ready. And then Obama comes in office and we soften up everything. Like, let's give him a try. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got a black president. Oh, we back right.
Oh, he can shoot a basketball.
Yeah, like really what it is, they like that. Bill Clinton. They did it like that with Bill Clinton too.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton was
it's the same form. Oh, we don't even want to talk about Bill Clinton. That's the worst. Like, I don't like Joe Biden, but Bill Clinton's a whole nother different. That's the evil for it right there.
Yeah, the shit he did in the background, the shit he did in the back, the shit he did behind the scenes. Oh shit.
Well, I wouldn't even know. I ain't started paying attention to politics until Obama got in office. Like I was born in '88. You know what I mean? So I was still in school.
Hey, man, I was born in '84, man.
So I was still in school. I wasn't caring, but I ain't caring nothing about no presidents. I ain't know the difference between that. You know what I mean? I just knew. You know what I mean? Like he the president. That's all I knew. I ain't. You know what I mean? I never paid attention. I hated politics. You know what I mean? But now it's like I'm into the politics, but it's like I be trying not to get too sucked up in it. Like, man, I got kids at home. I can't, man. Listen, I ain't even trying to get sucked up in this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because like when politics is sucked you in, like I'll watch CNN. It's like I hate that. It's like it's really like a game, man. The red versus the blue versus the red. You listen to CNN, they.
Got to get BBC news. A lot of news over there not owned by is like privately. It's owned by like regular people, but the news over here is owned by all one company.
Yeah.
The media is really controlled out here.
Bill Clinton. Say Bill Clinton. I thought like that's the biggest dope boy.
I heard, man. All I
know
about the stores. Like what you said, all I knew was about the stores.
And it's I think he'll be the puppet master.
Oh yeah, sure. You know that.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you said we're on a podcast now too?
Yeah, on live stream.
I think
we talking about everything but people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We about to have this damn podcast jumping. We about to have everything jumping.
This is how it normally goes.
Sorry about it. It wasn't even us.
Somebody gonna have to let me know because I be having a lot going on, man. I ain't gonna lie, I be having a lot going on, man. Like I got this little trucking company and all. I'm trying to.
The real, bro? What kind of truck? What kind of truck?
My daddy got a semi and I got a box truck.
You running that box truck right now?
Yeah. I got my own authority, Prosperity Trucking.
Oh, you good with that box truck?
What you mean?
He's a trucker. He's in a truck right now.
I'm running 18 with. I'm saying that box truck. I heard them box truck bringing in that paper.
Yeah. It's cool. You know what I mean? We're running your own authority. Like you got I got a 26-foot box truck with the lift gate and all that, right? But when I got into the business, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get this truck. I'm about to be bringing in all this money like they show on YouTube. It ain't like that. It gets like that, but it ain't like that when you first jump in. Because when you first jump in, it's like people don't trust you. It's kind of like credit. You know what I mean? Like, people don't. It's like don't nobody even respect you until you like 3 to 6 months in. Like,
you
got to have a seasoned authority.
Yeah, you mess with Amazon Relay.
That's what everybody start off with.
On truck stop.
Yeah. But I mess with that low boy.
Oh, you better mess with every single one of them. Shit is all low. Every day. When I looked at the load board, I saw a load for $20,000. Boy, I got mad.
$20,000 for what? A box truck?
No, it was for 18. Well, I was like $20,000 for one load. Boy, I got mad.
What you mean you got mad?
I working for the wrong company. It was other company that I saw that shit on. It wasn't mine.
Yeah. See, I got my own company, so like whenever I call, like they know it's me, they know it's the company, like you know what I mean. And it really, I don't really know how it works with because when you got a box truck, you gotta start your own, you gotta have your own authority. So I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? Like all I know is my own authority. But I was never blessed. I was never blessed to have a $8,000 goddamn load though at all. Like, I was never blessed to have that. Now, I'll be blessed to get that in a month. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now my daddy, I think he had a load for like $2,200 or something one time. Like he'd be having like $2,200 loads, but shit, yeah. That's the YouTube clickbait loads.
No, it was on Landstar. I was on their load board.
Yeah, he used to drive for Landstar, but it's like,
oh shit, man, we talking about truck, man. Sorry, man. Seamoss, you know, moving Seamoss.
No, well, I don't know if you guys caught it earlier because I started dozing off a bit, and I opened my eyes, and Rick's like watching me, and he's kind of like showing his wife, like, look, he's sleeping. I'm like, fuck. Listen.
Anytime I get on live and I go and I get to see you, I can always tell when you about to fall asleep. I say, here we go.
Yeah, here you go. So
all the time too.
I've been trying to get off the phone. You keep dragging me back in, man.
I mean, that's how it is with this Seamoss talk.
At like 1:30.
2 o'clock is the so it's supposed to be 1 o'clock, but the 2 is the absolutely cutoff. But
around 1:30 you start to go. Like it slowly start to ease in. You start to scoot back away from the camera a little bit more.
That's it, yeah.
That's a wrap.
You'll see me disappear from the screen a bit, come back, yeah. Yeah. But what I gotta do, I gotta talk to my buddy Ashen. When I was in St. Lucia, like, dude, we would get up every morning at 5:30. So sometimes we're out at 10 o'clock at night somewhere, drinking beer, smoking all day. So I would just crash out and be like, so he's got like a collection of videos of me like falling asleep in all these different places and just being like, so I told him, I said, you gotta send it to me and I'm gonna create like a montage of me just dozing out. Because when you're in the water, the water burns you out. Like if you're in the ocean all day, when you get out, you're just like burnt, like ready to knock out. Yeah, man.
That was funny. Yeah, it's about that time for me too.
Yeah. So,
oh man, I don't be riding, man. I only got like an hour left. Y'all can put the long clip in my.
You said about the I got
an hour left, bro. I'm trying to make it home to New Orleans, so I'm gonna be there 1:36. That's what it's telling me.
You know what you do? Watch the show. What?
136. It's 140. It's 140 where I'm at.
What?
Yeah.
You watch the show on repeat. That's what you do. But you know, Yusuf, the other day you fell asleep on the on the live stream.
I know that I probably was snoring and everything. I probably was out there.
Dude.
I woke up. I was like, man, why you kick me out the room? I fell asleep again.
No, at one point I had to move him to the audience because it was like I couldn't mute him, and he was just like.
Look, I woke up. I was like, man, I'm making boo-boo noise. I was like, shit. I saw him move me to the audience.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh man, this is a good live. I needed this.
All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I'm up out of here.
All right.
All right. Get off too, man. I gotta go too. I still got Seamoss I got washed downstairs.
I should get.
Oh man, shit. I'm about to start my own live right now.
Yeah, man. I should get going soon. All right, bye. Good night, Ricky.
All right. Later.
That SpongeBob time is real.
That is real, for sure. But no, he's saying the SpongeBob time is real because the guy was supposed to. He tried to leave at like 1 o'clock, and it's now 1:40. After a while, I just let him. I let him, be what they be. You can't. It's rude to like make. Well, it's not that rude, but I find when I try to hold people accountable for what they're saying, they get offended because I'm like, okay, well, you said you were gonna go, so let's go. But the funniest thing, as I say that, it makes me think about this. What happens to me a lot is I'll be talking to someone and someone will go to me like, oh, well, listen, I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm going to let you go. And then I'll be like, oh, well, no, I actually have free time. You don't need to let me go. And then there's this long, awkward pause. And they're like, well, actually, I have something I need to get done. So, like, why didn't you fucking say that? You can try to make it seem.
About 2 o'clock?
What? Sorry?
What time is it by you?
1:42. 1:43 now. And I should go to bed late because I have been talking loud and like it keeps the whole family. Listen, the family hates Sundays and Wednesdays. Yeah, because
they're laughing all loud, enjoying. They trying to go to sleep. You being all loud, talking about Seamoss. What do you got to talk about Seamoss? Every Sunday and Wednesday.
Yep. And I was gonna say, well, who pays the bills here? Seamoss pays the bills. So we're talking about Seamoss, all right? I'm fucking.
Hey, but I wanted to say, like, since okay, I real quick.
Well, shit, I'll be driving for an hour. I guess y'all about to go.
No.
I'm gonna just start my own live. Trucking with you, sir.
Trucking with you, sir. Well, hang on. Before we go, Rio was asking a question. I don't know if you were able to hear him.
For both of y'all. Yeah, for both of y'all.
Hold on. Let me get back on Clubhouse right quick.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
I think it's hard for him to hear you. That's wrong.
Now this is for both of y'all because you since you and whatchamacallit, since you deal with St. Lucian people, so like I was thinking like for people, I mean I don't want to say third world, but just so since it's classified third, and you said you a trucker, but I was thinking like in Florida there's a lot of storages that is just left. people have a whole bunch of stuff in storages. You can buy these storages for like dirt cheap, right? So if you had a ground man to actually go and buy storages and go sit through them and get stuff like DVDs.
I'm done. I'm down for it. Find out how much. Find out how much the barrels.
I know what you're talking about.
But you would be the transportation. You could because that's the biggest problem. Is actually finding a reliable trucker to transport it to the dock, get it the actual box. But see,
I would be able to do that, but this is not my truck. I'm leasing it on another company with another company.
Okay, that's why I was trying to make that connection, see if that would work. But okay.
But the storage idea is a good idea. I do stuff like that already, where yeah. So I buy stuff and I flip it, and or I'll buy stuff that are people are moving out, like closeout sales and stuff like that. I'll buy like sites that have been like demoed, like if the place is going to be demoed. There's like right now in my warehouse, I don't know if everybody's seen it, but like in the background there's all this crap in the background, and what it really is that the guy that I rent the space from, he has a company that demolition stuff, and so I have an arrangement with him where all the stuff that he finds somewhat usable, he brings to the space and dumps it there, and then my family goes and puts it online and flips it. And like on an average week, we make like I don't know, about $1,000, $1,200 a week. Yeah. Well, that goes split between the guy. So it's my wife that does it really. So she makes like almost I'd say realistically, say 500 every 2 weeks. So let's say anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 a month. She makes selling stuff online that she gets for pretty much free, and she just kind of flips it over. Like we have a bunch of Coke fridges and shit right now that she's selling for like $600 each. Yeah.
And see, my problem is, I wouldn't do. I'm not gonna get. I had the idea, but I can't execute because I don't have a space to keep. If I was to start doing that, you need space, so you have to get it moved.
Here's the thing. You have not figured out how to get a space. It's not that you don't have a space. You have a space. You just haven't figured it out. And so a lot of times, like and I'm saying this because I just want to illustrate to people about how the language we use when we talk to ourselves, we actually create environments that limit and sort of enslave us into that sort of self-prophesized reality, which is not the real reality. Yeah. Like you can find the storage space. You know what I mean? You can. There's a lot of things you do. You just got to work. It's like the question is, how hard do you want to work on it? Like, are you willing to work for the next 2 months to figure out the problem?
Yeah, I mean, if I know it's going to prosper, I mean, not even I know
everything.
Prosper,
listen, everything is going to prosper as long as you see it through. Right. When people fail, it's because they don't work hard enough and they don't see it through.
Yeah, you're right. You're really right. I should have been one of the rich guys right now. I'm telling you, if you got a chance, you gotta take that shit. Don't do like I did. Trust me, brother. Yep. I should have had more than 1 million Bitcoins right now.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And I would, man, fuck, I should have had a couple billion.
Yeah, from years ago, you knew about Bitcoin when it was cheap, right?
Yeah, and I knew it before, like, because, I was dabbling with the website stuff, so I already knew about it because that was the currency online.
And something probably told you, like, I need to buy into some of this, and you just didn't.
Yeah, and it's like I just let it pass it by, and then I was like, man, everybody know about it now. I was supposed to buy it then. I didn't do it then. I was like, man, what was I doing? I couldn't have been doing anything that important to forget. I guess I don't know. I guess I was. I don't know.
I believe that God is constantly giving us opportunities to bless us, but we miss them all because we're just not. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in these signs that are coming to us. You know what I mean? I do it all the time. I second guess myself, and when I do, most times it results in that kind of same situation you have where it's like, fuck, what was I thinking? I knew this was going to work. Why didn't I just see it through, or at least try?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I'm gonna go through it, and the reason why I was thinking about it heavy is because well, with the COVID, I know it's bad to think about it like this, but a lot of people passed away from it. Like mostly old people and storage. So just I thought about, I was like, man, so much storage is probably sitting out there.
But what I would even do is look into getting a storage in the storage place where you're buying the storage places. And then
but you see, once you buy it, you have to get rid of it. They give you a time. Most of the time, it's like 24 hours, right?
Well, this is why I'm saying you want a storage unit in the same place where you're buying the storage units, because what you do is you filter. Sorry.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. It does, right? But the thing about it is, I would start from a large scale, but it's storage is all over, right? I know I wouldn't buy a storage. I think that's what to do. Buy a storage for each one of these storages and just do it like that. And just throw away the stuff or donate it. I would really want to donate these clothes and stuff like that. And then like and you know what? I had another idea. You know what escape rooms, and they have things called rage rooms. And I was like, man, just send them to like stuff like TVs or like box TVs, like the big movie TVs, and like even sometimes you can set up like they like furniture and in there and stuff like that. Give it to rage rooms, and you can give it to home. I mean, if it's good condition, you can give it to Goodwill and stuff like that. But give those to rage. Set up.
So.
And then, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have an idea. Like I have a fucking million ideas. First of all, I want to say that I don't want to sound cocky, but it's true. And one of the ideas that I've had for a long time, and I could share it because I don't know if I'm ever going to do it, is I had this idea to create basically an environment which is similar. You know what karaoke rooms is? So imagine a karaoke room. Right, like so in Toronto, I'll paint it like this. In Toronto, in the Asian communities, they have these places, these buildings where you go to, and it's kind of like everybody can rent their own karaoke room. So it's not one giant karaoke room where everybody is karaoke, but there's like 30 rooms in the building. Each room has their own like karaoke player with a big screen TV, and it's got like a couch and a chair. And these guys go there and they smoke their cigarettes and they do karaoke. And the bartender, like the waitress, comes in and sees what they want, but it's like their own private room, right? So imagine that, except instead of karaoke, you're playing video games. And you're running in a system that is like a high-end server thing where we're dealing with the fastest network, and you can go to the front counter and rent the sickest controllers and play whatever games you want, and you can rent like whatever system console you want in the room. And so the idea is you get like 4 or 5 of your buddies and you go in this room and play video games, and you can drink beer and smoke cigarettes because they'll have a filter in it and stuff like that. And you just rent this room by the hour as like a chill hangout room.
Okay. I'm gonna have to send you something. I'm gonna have to send you some information on it because I know some as far as the game. It's a guy I can give you his information, and this guy one hard drive, all systems, all remote. All you need is a PC. You don't even need the counter.
There you go. And you can do that. You get some really fast, super high PCs, and then you get some ridiculous, like giant, like you have 100-foot screen TV or 100-inch screen TVs in all the rooms. Like it would be one of those rooms where it was like, this is the ultimate fucking video game setup. Like it's better than anything that anybody has in their homes. That's why you're renting it.
Right. It will work because I know a lady. The guy I worked with, his mom, has a truck. She rides around, and that's what she does. She sets it up. That she goes to events and stuff like that. And she sets up. So that will work for sure. Especially how you saying this is a high end. You want certain specs. So if you have people who want to compete in, because gaming, like with the streaming and being able to stream a game, but the competition wise, some people might not and just want a space. If they just want a quiet space, just to do certain things and hold event or whatever, it could for sure. It's just the locations will have to be there. That's the only thing you have to nail, the location, and then you have money right there for sure. I think so. But it takes that's going to take money to start, and the reason why, because the high-end pieces for a system, especially PCs, they going crazy, especially with the shortage of chips, etc.
No, it wouldn't. The PCs, it wouldn't have to be like that. It wouldn't have to be like that. That's why I was telling him about this guy. It wouldn't be that much. I saw this guy take a computer off of Amazon and made it out of an arcade machine. Like this guy is good. He makes some of the best high-end arcades. He builds them from scratch. Or if you want a computer, he'll build a computer and put everything on it. The computer works with a Wii remote, PlayStation remote, Xbox remote. It works with whatever kind of remote that you want and whatever system you want. He can put it on the game, on the computer, and he has all systems from even before Atari.
Oh wow!
All that stuff is on. I'm talking about everything, held hand, everything is on one system, and you can play it on a TV.
Do you remember Amiga? You remember the computer, the Amiga? That was like my favorite computer.
Yeah.
And they had all the games on the Amiga. Sorry, it just made me think when you said all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking of all the different games that they had. But yeah, that's sick that they had all those games on one drive.
And I always used to do emulators. I always used to be the person to go find free games because I had money. I had to burn everything. So I burnt all my Sega games and stuff like that. So that's how I got into the gaming thing. I wanted to come up with like a arcade type room, but not an arcade place. Place where they serve food and stuff, but not like Dave and Buster's because I think that's whack.
I know what you're talking about. They have a place really close on right now. It's called like Quarter Town, but it's like old school arcade stuff. You can eat and then just go in there and you use the quarters and all that. They help on one of that. Those still, I don't know how good they do, but they're still open. So, and with your emulators, man, shoot, especially you could hack. They have so much emulators right now. You could, if you on the road, you could have. I'm not using Nintendo Switches, even
you can have all of that stuff. This guy can make all that stuff work on one thing.
That's crazy.
Like I've been doing it. Like I have emulators on my phone. I've been having emulators on my tablet, and and I like all the old school stuff too. So I used to have every system. After a hurricane hit New Orleans, I gave all my systems away to one of my friends. But I used to collect every system that came out. I had everything, stuff people couldn't even find. I had all types of stuff.
You the one who get the Soldier Boy console. I'd be like, I had the Soldier
Boy. No, hell no, not that. I get everything else, but I wouldn't get that. Now, I had some stuff people don't know about. I had handheld, the Nomad, like the handheld Sega, where you put the real Sega Genesis tapes in there. I had that. I had two of those. Julien Ben was supposed to go to sleep. Did we keeping a man up for even long?
Huh?
All right, yeah, we have him on SpongeBob time, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm good. I'm here. I was stretching before I go to bed. I do a little bit of stretching. So I was on I don't know if you could hear me when you guys were talking. I was talking back, but I have I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have this ball that I roll on before I roll on my knots and stuff. No, continue. You guys are talking about emulators. I'm curious about that.
The emulators is, think about the first system or game that ever came out. You can still play those. And how this guy, the program he used to set his arcade games up and his systems up is called Hyperspin. Hyperspin, I think that's what it's called. And when you click on it, a menu come up: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Atari, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. Everything comes up. And when you click on them, all of the games come up with a menu, a quick trailer for the game. Like, it's so much stuff this guy, like, put in, in his arcade games or on his computers. Like, it's every console you would ever want. The only console he don't have on it is like Xbox One, and he doesn't have like PlayStation 4. And the ones like PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whatever it's this new one called, he don't have those on it, but he always updated. And he would sell you like terabytes. That's how many games he has. The hard drives are terabytes. Wow. Like I'm talking about every game you would ever want, and it looks good, like everything. How he make his menu, everything is good, and and it boots up like an arcade. You get to choose what game you want. You can play with any kind of controller you want. You can have a gun hookup, so you can play the shoot games with the gun. Like it is real nice. I was thinking about getting him to build an arcade system for my house, for my house where I live at. That's why I wanted an arcade system.
I can't lie, those those are probably good flips too. I don't know how much you sell it for, but you sell it for a reasonable price. I know I can flip stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a reasonable price. But like what Julien is talking about, man, that's a good ass idea.
Yeah, getting a room and setting it up. It's just, I mean, like, I know what you talk. I see what you're saying. Like, he can make the arcades, but I'm talking about, like, if someone wants to rent it out for a high-end PC. Like, I'm talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, how he can do it either because the arcades are just nothing but an arcade cabinet with a computer in it. So if Julien had the computers, he wouldn't have to buy systems. He buy computers, and you just switch the system, or they can choose all the systems from one menu. Whatever system they want to play is on one menu. And everything from the first game system, first arcade system, all of that is on one system. And it's running from a computer. So all he has to do is just make sure, the game is installed on a computer, because it boot up as like it's an arcade. It boot up like one system. And from that boot up screen and menu, he gets to choose anything he want to play. He can play everything from arcade games on. He can play handheld, anything like that. That way he wouldn't have to buy whole consoles and systems, and you use a computer for each room or whatever he's trying to do, and already can connect to each joystick. So that'll like eliminate wires, it'll eliminate different consoles.
If they have this in what will make it boom, if it was in like airplanes or like traveling buses or even a train. I mean, I'm just thinking but if you had those, that was exactly what you're saying, like in the back of the seat where you watch the TV, but you could pick games. It's over there, and
So just imagine you having a computer with everything on. Like it's everything.
I have a PlayStation, couple emulators on my computer, and then the only reason I have those because they're gigabytes. Like they're not gigabytes, megabytes. They're not even a gig, so I can keep them on my computer and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I keep I keep all of the emulators. I keep all of the games, the digital games, like the ROMs that have been ripped from the cartridge or the CD. I keep all of those. And plus, I have memberships with those websites to get free games and any game I want, even before it came out. I used to have games before it even was released in the store.